actually admitted this last year. I'll say it again. I actually do play some mobile games. I do. All right. The ones that I play are free to play or incredibly inexpensive. Like you spend $1 here or there to make progress.
This one's for all my baby girls.
Got me that gotcha. I love it. Got me that gotcha. Begging for fucking tips and shit on Street. It's WWE Champions Time. I'm stupid. WWE game plays like Candy Crush. Moving gems around, breaking colored gems. I love it. Again, it's pay to win. The more money you sink into it, the more characters you can summon, the higher chance you'll get the better characters, etc., etc. All right? Got me that gotcha. I love it. Got me that gotcha. Begging for fucking tips and shit on Street. Gotcha. Got me that gotcha. Thanks for the money, dummies. Supercar. That was a mobile game I played like 5-6 years ago, a lot. For about a year, I played it pretty hardcore. All right, even at that point, that was before everything kind of fell apart with YouTube and everything. I was putting a little bit of money into it. I was playing for the top cards. I was playing the shit out of that game, okay? After about a year, they launched what they called Season 2, which reset all the cards in the game and made all your progress essentially worthless. And I said, this game fucking sucks. What a complete waste of time that this was, all right?
Now, what does the sugar do in the sauce?
Adds sweetness, adds a contrast. If you don't, it's all going to be tartness, and you won't have any
It's going to be acidity from tomatoes.
Right, you'll have
and then
tart and its acid and nothing else. All right. So now we got to stir all that in, and then we add our final ingredients, and then the meat.
This one's for all my baby girls.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian bills. Italian dark side flip. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. I'm half kind of European mix. European style, Asian fusion style tips. Greasy hair. Pasta once a week. The authentic style, Asian fusion style, Italian.
Guess what else we're going to add?
What?
Sausage. Italian sausage. That's going to go in here too.
I love sausage. I have had many varieties.
Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian bills. Italian dark side flip. Italian wife. Italian wife. Italian chill. Italian can't give her a pill. Why do you pretend to be Italian? I don't. I'm not full-blooded Italian. That'd be ridiculous for me to claim. I'm a quarter Italian. I am 1/4 Polish, and then I'm half kind of European mix. Why do I say I'm not a children's entertainer? Because I'm not a Muppet. I'm not here to play a character. I'm not here to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. I don't dye my hair. I don't act stupidly constantly to get attention from children. I don't do stupid pranks. You know what I mean? I don't cause drama. I'm here just to play games and have fun. I'm a legitimate gamer. Big ups to your dad. I need banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I need banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in then put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Act and talk a certain way with certain mannerisms, certain over-the-top reactions, screaming at the top of their lungs, jumping, flailing, doing weird things, constantly on camera. I need banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth, tasty banana. I need banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in then put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth. I need banana, tasty banana. Put banana in my mouth. Tasty banana. I need banana, tasty banana. Please the peel it comes in then put banana in my mouth. Squeeze banana. Put banana in my mouth.
hit the 250 vest streak for that celebration, I'm going to debut a new vest. There we go. Celebratory bubble blow. Very nice. There's bubbles everywhere. There's bubbles all over my PlayStation 4 controller. There's bubbles on my microphone stand. There's bubbles everywhere tonight.
What the fuck?
Big up Skier Fan. Oh my god, what's the new ridiculous thing that Darkside Phil did in his gameplay today? I can't wait to get to the channel and see. You know what I mean? That's one of the running things I had going, you know? How do I top what I did yesterday? Today was something else stupid that I said. I can't go back in time and change what I did. All I can say today is I'm a different guy today, and I'm sorry for how I behaved in the past, because I look back now and I cringe at how bad it was, right? Right now, for the next week, I'm literally strapped for cash. The only money I'll have is tips coming in on the streams. And that, by the way, I have to raise money to pay 2 big bills next week. All my utilities are due next week. So now in the next few days, I have to raise money to pay my utilities. And then, you know, see what I mean? Like, this is how it is for me. Yet these shitheads out there want to fucking fuck with me behind the scenes, ruin my all kinds of financial shit for me. Then on top of that, make stuff up to try to make me sound like a terrible person on the internet.
To make money, I have to pay Ben bills. You know, I have to pay Ben bills.
Hello, everyone. We are here with another edition of the That Being Said podcast, and if you can believe it, this is episode number 20 of the show. Seems like we just started just a few weeks ago, but we're already at our 20th episode. Thanks so much to everyone watching that lets us do this silly show for you as many times as we can on the week. As you can see all around us, lots of legends to talk about. And we also have that one black box that is looming large. Not sure what that's about exactly, but I can tell you it is a very positive addition to the streams. And we're going to reveal that in a second. But first, let me introduce, as always, the legends that are always a part of the show. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Fantastic. I said it again. Fantastic. Mr. Sam, how you feeling today, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, not bad. Excited for this one, as always. But yeah.
Yeah, this one's a little bit extra special. Now it's time to introduce another legend, the one, the only, the Meerkat. How you feeling, my friend?
Welcome, everyone. Hello. We made it to 20, and I haven't been in half of them, but they've been great regardless. I'm here today. Camera is on. I got this bullshit in the background, still better background than DSP. And you guys better pull out your Velcro wallets and bust them wide open because we're making a bunch of polls today. This is going to be an exciting show. Welcome to the guests.
Yes.
And let's get to them.
Let's get to them.
Take it on.
Do you want to get the guest going first, or should we get to our positive reveal, Meerkat? What do you think?
Let's do the positive reveal first. I'm a very positive person, and I like revealing stuff. So.
Yeah, so this is a totally free positive reveal. Probably not the smartest business idea. We didn't steal this one from Phil, but this is a totally free positive reveal. Addition to the podcast. This is someone that I'll tell you why I think we have him on the show. You guys can feel free to disagree with me. But so many times we're talking about doing a show, and we say, man, if we only had this person here, and we said, man, I wonder what he would say about this. Or I just say he. So it's a male edition. We would say, man, if he was here, it'd be so much awesome. We could talk about this. So we said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just ask him. And we were lucky enough that he said yes. He is going to be joining the show as a real member. That he is an official member, a guest no longer. His name is the one, the only, Steve of the Dead. Let's reveal him, Sam. Get him up here. He is here, and we are super excited about this. And a lot of people guessed right away when I started the description of him. But yeah, Steve is now a
Y'all
member.
love me.
That being said, welcome, Steve. Your first words on the podcast as an official member. Please just give us all your thoughts. You can take as long as you want.
So this is what it feels like to go from 5 stars to 6.
Yes, exactly. But that is our big positive reveal. Thanks so much, Steve, for accepting, because we're happy to have you. And Dominic and Celebration gifting 5 memberships out of nowhere. Dominic, you are a legend. Now
Big ups.
that we have the positive reveal out of the way, I have more fun to reveal. I'm going to start with our first guest, as you see there on the bottom right of your screen, legendary content creator that is kind of not as big as they deserve to be yet. And we're going to help her with that, hopefully. Her name is Tractor Goose. How you feeling, my friend?
What? How did I get here?
We like your stuff, and we said you got to be on our show.
Well, thank you. Hope I can give some positive contributions today. I am naturally reporting from Cozy Level 1, which would be the basement over here. And Screen 1. I haven't even left Screen 1 yet, so.
There we go. Tractor Goose is a legend, and please welcome her with open arms as we do, because awesome content creator, and we want to see them get as popular as they can possibly get. Next, a legend that knows a thing or two about a little game known as WWE Champions. He goes by the name of TJ Gamebox. How you feeling, my friend?
Hello. How's it going, guys?
It is nice to have you on here, and we have a lot of questions for you about a little game that you play that Phil also plays. And I know you're going to give us all your expert knowledge on that topic for sure, right?
100%.
Okay. So before we get to that, we have to do, as always, Meerkat, it is business time. I'm tasking you with that business time. Go ahead.
Oh no! Did you even call me a legend today?
I think
Did
I
you
did.
expect me to do plugs? Okay,
Chad
sure.
did.
I'll take that. Anyways, we talk about DSP. DSP talks about money. If you want to give us that money, you know how, because he already talks about it all the time. So super chats, memberships, tips, all that shit works, and you can use it if you don't want to. If you don't, then fine. We're not going to talk about it anyways. So let's carry on with the show, and let's see what we got today in the crazy world of dark side fucking Phil.
Yes. One last programming note. We did talk about it before, but just like Phil up in his game with the kind of, I don't want to call them schemes or dunce lures, but there are ways for you to interact. And I do want to remind everyone, we do have a payday goal. And let me remind everyone what exactly this is. If you donate your entire paycheck to us, you get to choose what member of, that being said, will shove this up their ass. And now we have 4 choices. So remember, if you are a member, please exercise your power and vote. You have a lot of power. You're like basically a deity with how much power you have when you're a member. And you can vote on who gets this. So please be sure to donate your entire paycheck for that. That's the goal here, the new addition to the podcast. So let's get started, my friends. We have so much to talk about here, so much ground to cover. That we better get started quickly. So I am going to start it with what seems like 10 years ago, but we still have to talk about it. And that is the pre-stream meltdown that was started by a Snow Carl question. I know it was a long time ago. Can everyone remember this? I'll throw it to Sam for a quizzical look on his face. Can you remember this?
Sorry, I was tweaking as I always am, and not in a good way. I'm like Phil when he's eating. Maybe I just look weird when I'm concentrating, but yeah, I vaguely remember it. Man, where do you start with that shit? It's like left my brain already after everything that's happened since.
Yeah. It has been a while. I just remind everyone, it started with a question about anonymous tippers and the 1 Minute Man nonsense. That's what kind of started him off about that. So when I have 6 people in this chat, I do need to get all of your official takes on the 1 Minute Man drama. I think everyone's worried about it. A lot of people care about it. I'll start with you, Tractor Goose. What is your theory about the 1 Minute Man?
Man, that one's tricky because regardless if 1 Minute Man is real or fake, the best part about it is that Phil expects X amount of money plus $25 because
Yeah.
it's like if 1 Minute Man's real, he's got the comfort of knowing that $25 comes tomorrow. So he fully expects to waste it as soon as he gets it, probably on gotcha, because it's like, it's okay, $25 comes tomorrow.
Yep. How about you, DJ Gamebox?
Oh, is he still there?
Did we lose him already? We lost one already.
You got scared by the payday.
Stop doing pulls, TJ. Quit the pulls.
Oh.
All right, we'll go to Meerkat then. Let's get. I know you said your theory before, but get out here quickly one more time.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure if I think he's real, but I'm still not sure if I'm on team lump sum or team daily payment. Because he said something about the lump sum that was super, super suspicious. And it sounded like something that he realized that it was wrong to say it, and then he tried to backpedal it or make you forget about it immediately. But it made me kind of question it. And I might be into that camp, but I definitely believe he's real.
Okay, and now we need Steve's official opinion for the first time ever. Asking Steve's official, what Minuteman take?
Well, I'm in the third camp where it's not that important to me whether he's real or not. The point is that it really winds Phil up when you bring it up. So for me, that's worth more than him like being right or wrong about whether he exists or not. The fun for me is look how mental Phil goes when you bring it up to him. So I mean, look how mental he went.
I know. Oh my God, TJ Gamebox back in the house. I'm getting word from my sideline reporter. TJ Gamebox is back. What's your take on 1 Minute Man, my friend?
I think 1 Minute Man is definitely a former tipper that does not appear anymore and gives him a lump sum. Like
lump sum gang. Like to hear that. And
like a Planet Jeff.
Sam, your final word.
I can't make my mind up because you make such a compelling argument for him being for it being the lump sum thing. Because I don't feel like I'd ever heard the lump sum thing before you came up with it. A while ago, I'm sure other people probably did, but I lean, but I do lean. There was one thing that made me lean the other way, and that's just how embarrassed he seems to get when he brings it up. So I'm like, because you know how we've said before, like how he'll say something about his rewards, and you can tell he's kind of like a little bit ashamed or whatever. And it kind of feels like that with the 1 Minute Man thing, the way he's like, he'll kind of delay the way he says it. He did get a tip from 1 Minute Man sometimes, and it's like, I agree. That's the only thing that's kind of making me lean towards it being all bollocks, but that's it. That's it for me.
One more thing.
Yep.
One more thing. There's Darwin in chat says that when you got a lump sum, you got to pay less fees on it. And DSP, if anything that he showed recently is that he really cares about those fees and he wants all that money. So for him, it wouldn't be out of question for him to get in touch with that whale and just tell him, why don't you just send me one payment and I'll make it look like a lot of payments.
Yep. And what? Not to go too long on this point. Go ahead, Tractor Goose. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I had forgotten about the lump sum theory. I think somebody in Raw DDM had brought that up too.
Yep.
And with that theory, it does make me a little more inclined to believe that he's real. And Phil is just stretching it out to try and make each day's goals look that more attainable.
Yep.
Just one more payment of $19.95, and you too can get some glasses.
Just I know we can't spend too much time on this, but I just want to make sure we hit on these 2 points. First off, he went through every single 1 Minute Man possible theory, which I thought was incredible. He he watches Tractor content because he had them all on a list. He was like, hey, what's up? We could do the why would I message 1 Minute Man when I can just add it myself? Why do I have to get his donation every day? He lets us know that's a possibility. Then he also says, I could just do something like a lump sum. He's like, made sure we know that's a possibility. But yeah, the lump sum theory, lump sum gang, I think we feel a little bit more confident after this week, but still, we don't know. He did also say in that rant, though, want to mention, remember, exploitation and having a bit of fun are two different things. Remember that, guys. Like the lure, I don't do any lure. What is it? Sorry, dunce luring tactics. He doesn't do that.
Oh yeah.
Remember, I don't do that.
By the way, I do want to mention that his hat that he wears is not a proper fishing hat. The way that he puts the lure on and everything, where he puts the strap on and everything, it's not a proper fishing hat. One of my friends told me that and wanted me to say that on the stream. So
thank you for that. I want to get the facts straight here. Remember, he does not do any dunce luring tactics.
Watch it now. Sharp objects there.
Yeah. Watch out for my cat. Make sure they don't get those. But yeah, that's got to make sure we say that, because that was incredible for me. Is guilt trip. Also, the guilt trip comment. Guilt tripping.
Oh God.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Remember, guilt tripping is not guilt tripping if you're sharing actual facts. That's the difference. Steve, go ahead.
Video.
It's not guilt tripping if I do it. Just
that's the
everything else
line.
with Phil. It's like, it's not guilt tripping if I do it. If everybody else does it, it's guilt tripping, and I will criticize them for it. But when it comes to me, I'm going to redefine it slightly. And then based on my redefined definition of it, it's not guilt tripping. So you can't criticize me for it. And he does it with everything.
Oh yeah, wait till we get to the Keem part. Oh my, that's all he did. That's all he fucking did the whole time. And last note on the pre-stream thing, he did say that the tip jar mentality, right? So like if you put a little money in there, it'll help you donate. He said nothing that he doesn't do that. He said if you fall for that, you're an asshole. That's it. That's what he said. That's the official stance from DSP on the tip jar theory. He never said he doesn't do that. He says if you fall for that, you're an asshole. So,
but he's like gone on the record saying that 1 Minute Man like primes his tips for the day. I wish I could. I don't know. I don't think I wrote that down. But yeah, there's like he admits that on at least 1 or 2 streams. So
yeah. It's another one of those things where I feel like if he just said that at the start of the stream, he's like, if you just came in with it straight away, just went right. We've started off with a 1 Minute Man tip for $25. Just getting the ball rolling. That'd be fine. Just because it wouldn't seem as weird then. It'd just be like, okay, yeah, he's kind of priming the tip jar, but I don't know. He just has to keep. He has to. Well, I mean, it's Phil, isn't it? He's got this whole sort of weird scheduled, rigid thing going on where he has to do it at certain times, and I don't know. And 1 Minute Man's position in all of that is at break time for some reason, and it's just very
this
weird.
Is also the guy who purposely leaves his tips goal at $0 for the first 2.5 hours.
Well, yeah,
as a feigning distress kind of tactic. So yeah, 1 Minute Man's got to strategically be placed at the right time.
Yep,
and he will use the same language later on as well. If you give him like say $30, like with $20 left to the goal, guys, come on, $20 more, and I'll put on the glasses. Oh, a sub bond's come in, great. Just 3 more subs and we can hit that goal, guys. So he'll do it like that. He'll use like the same psychological impulse that priming the tip jar creates. That there's already something, and you're that close to a goal. I could be the one that pushes it over. For $3, I could have these rewards. That sort of thing. It's the same impulse that he's taking advantage of. He's just, when he's called out for it, it's bad. He doesn't do it at all. Everybody else does it, and they're bad. I'm not priming the tip jar, or I'm not trying to make you all like give more than what other people have given. I'm just saying 3 more subs, and we could have a marathon. I'm just saying, an extra $20 gets you gun and glasses.
Yeah, it's like the closer your tip gets him to the next goal, the more like shit he makes you feel, right? So like, if you get that donation go to $47, he's like, all right, thanks for that $20 tip, ALT. Man, $3 left to the goal. Okay, well, what about mine?
But if he gets that lump sum of like $100 right away, he's like, thank you for the $100. Guess we'll put on the ad.
Money buff.
Yep. Good super chat said, "We'll say one nice thing about DSP if you can."
20 minutes.
He's okay at Street Fighter.
Yes, there you go. That's a good nice thing. So I didn't have to say anything. Let's go to the next thing in the week. I think we can move on from that is the StreamElements stuff. Okay, so another big topic here. StreamElements was based on a tweet that someone made to StreamElements. I think it said like, "Hey, do you want this kind of person on your platform?" It was a very racist moment from Phil. They're a dime a dozen. They're easy to find, and the responses to that were incredible. Just more and more and more and more and more responses led to that, and he finally got dropped from StreamElements. This led to a legendary computer chair theory, the computer chair segment, I guess, which some magic is going to happen when he gets in that computer chair. And Steve's shaking his chair, not even hard enough to match what Phil was, drilling down through the center of the earth with that chair, going back and forth. So any thoughts from that we want to share here? I know me and Meerkat had a show yesterday about that specifically, but we do want to get everyone else's thoughts on that for sure. So I'll throw it to, I guess, Sam first. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think it should be. It shouldn't be skipped over that this was one person's report to StreamElements, and that if he'd have just left it at that, he very likely would have been fine. Yep. But he had to weigh in, and then at that point, everyone just piled on, and magic ensued.
I don't think it was the fact that he responded; it was the fact that StreamElements responded. And then people felt blood in the water, and it was all clips from old time.
Oh yeah, yeah. That thread is worth looking at because it's incredible that everyone just. If I do agree, Sam, if Phil said nothing, it's over. People do this 10 times a day. Every single possible thing people can try to get Phil canceled on, they're doing it all the time on Twitter, all the time. But Phil has to say, did you really bring up something from 13 years ago? LOL.
I think the worst part was that he still had StreamElements tagged when he called someone mentally ill.
Did not notice that. Great.
Oh my God.
Oops.
Smooth.
Yeah, and this mental illness just run he's been on. Go ahead, Steve.
It just proves what you said. If it had left that, you wouldn't have had that response going to StreamElements. So StreamElements would probably got, oh yeah, we got loads for that streamer, you just ignore it. And then seeing him respond and calling him an idiot makes him think, hang on a minute, this is right, okay, let's have a look. So again, he's really caused his own downfall. If he'd have just let it go, if he'd ignored it, but he couldn't. He had to have that little, oh God, not this thing again. 13 years, come on. And he had to have his little petulant little dig at the person and try to look how ridiculous they are for bringing up stuff 13 years ago. And it ended up with this because he didn't know to untag the StreamElements Twitter account.
Go ahead.
I think my favorite part of it is his usual defense of, I've grown and matured. That was 13 years ago. And at the time of this drama, I don't think it had been a week since he went into excessive detail about how the guy who tweeted needs to get mental help, and you need to log on to your mental health service and see if they offer these services, and then you should say yes, I want this program, and then the white coats come for you, and then
yep, exactly. He went in so much. It was weird. He went so far with that. I was just let it go. Okay, you want to say you need mental help, right? Okay, if you want to say that comment, I don't think that's good either, but at least stop there. Don't go this all right, here, you get the map to the hospital. Then you get the map to where your room is. You run into that room, take your medicine, put on your white coats, call your doctor, make sure it's on your insurance plan. It was just too much. Just let it go, man. But that was
just
incredible.
saying facts. Come on, it was just facts. He wasn't shaming somebody. It was just stating facts, this was one of the most embarrassing DSP segments when you try and justify singling somebody out, calling him out by name, and then making this whole thing about mental health and just saying, I'm not making fun of mental health. I'm just stating facts, which is just the perfect DSP set.
You'd think he'd learn from the blue hair insult on his Twitch days.
Yeah.
Now it's let me go in even more detail. That's not going to be incriminating at all. Yep. Real quick, I can't remember if that was the same stream where he did the routine of you need to get your phone.
Yeah,
and put
it was.
In selfie mode.
Same one. Yeah.
And then
you're the lol cow.
Yeah, this is how. Yeah, and then he brings up his phone and he's like, now you need to actually take the photo, and you see this moment where the gears are turning in his head when he realizes he actually looked himself in the mirror. Falling apart. How do I back out of this? Oh God.
Yeah. He thought about it for a split second. Go ahead.
He didn't. It's also, as well as that, he hadn't figured out the ending to that joke, because didn't he do that thing where he said, "Why are you doing that?" You know that thing where he says, everyone raise your hands, and then he says, why are you doing that? I can't see you. It's like, well done, Phil.
Remember that one stream where someone put an emote of our hand raised and he freaked out? Like, oh my god, you defeated my joke.
Yeah. Good point. J-Dog with the super chat. I want to say that the music during that, the Earthbound music was so beautiful. You could not pick a better soundtrack.
That was my favorite part. That song will never hit the same for me ever again. It's fantastic. And
it's like when the mod leaks happened, and it was with Doc and Rama in the background. I was like, with the trivial music.
My favorite
I missed the music being on in the background. I didn't get that, but I'm gonna have to watch it again. Now.
What's great is that it's that one Earthbound song that's used in memes. So it's like I don't exactly know its application very well, like how the joke works. But yeah, like something went wrong and you just got ba-doo-doo-doo. It's like I don't know what was going on with the ghost he was fighting, but it kind of looked like he had this puckered face, just like, oh man,
no way,
this is gonna hurt.
Yep. It was something else. Thanks so much for getting the memberships from Andrew, a little legend there. And I guess we shouldn't let it go without saying how. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought here. He did say, by the way, he in his Twitter, he's saying like he kept saying not that he changed or anything. He's saying literally on his Twitter, I didn't do anything wrong. StreamElements just dropped me, and I didn't do anything wrong, which is it, right? You changed, or you did something wrong and changed, or you just did something bad and you got blocked. I mean, which one is it? He has to keep the narrative alive of that he didn't do anything wrong, I guess.
And he kept repeating it as well. I wanted to mention about that before we got on to the next thing, was that it was like watching a weird version of, you know, how like you'll have like a rolling news channel where it's literally like BBC News or whatever, and it's literally they'll keep saying the same story over and over and over again, like with the Queen dying recently. You know, just to reiterate, everyone that's just joined us, I did nothing wrong. And,
I can now go live to Renton,
but I did nothing wrong.
Oh yeah, and here's the Dominic makes a good point. The email that he got from StreamElements was beautiful.
I love it.
We're not answering any emails back from you. We're not saying what we do. We have nothing to do with you. Basically, is what that email said. You know, in a nice way. But
it was the same with the Streamlabs when I sent the email on Streamlabs, and then they was like, "Oh, we'll check in on it," and then he got removed immediately afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Look at this. I'm just reading this right now. This is from Phil's Twitter. Okay. Hey, StreamElements, my tips page has just became a 404 error. I haven't got any notice about this via email or a message on the site. I've been false reported en masse this week for stuff I did 13 years ago, so I hope this isn't related and just a temporary error. Please respond. Thanks. Next tweet. For the record, my tips page can be found here. And for the record, no, I didn't do anything to violate your TOS. So he's contradicting himself one tweet. That's one tweet of contradiction. Stuff I did 13 years ago. Response tweet. I didn't do anything to violate your TOS. Which is it?
Yeah.
Also, the passive aggressiveness in that. It's like, oh, by the way, I haven't violated your terms of service. It's like, well, that's not on you to decide. That's on them to decide. That's on them to look at and go, well, actually, yeah, you have here. It's like, as I'm sure we're going to bring up later, when he's like, you can't be offended by that. It's dark humor. And it's like, well, it's not on you to say what somebody can and can't be offended by.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I know this is like,
them, you said.
I mean, I know it's you know, this is leaning into sort of the cancel culture discussion, but you know, it's perfectly understandable for a company to see that, and whether it happened yesterday or whether it happened 13 years ago, you know, just for a company to say, well, yeah, I don't want to be associated with this guy. You know what? There's not. You know, to my eyes, there's not too much wrong with that, but obviously that's a whole discussion about cancel culture, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you're saying something though, as if that was one thing he did wrong, and I think that's bad too. You did something wrong 13 years ago, and now you're canceled in 2022. That's bad, but that's not the case with Phil.
No,
you know.
But even if it was, I mean, it's like, yeah, he's paying for past actions. It's like you did something 13 years ago. You're not getting cancelled for it now. You got away with it for 13 years.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He did pay for it, though. He got kicked off Blip for those clips of Dead Space. He got kicked off. He did not apologize, though, because he thought he did nothing wrong. So I guess if he didn't recognize it and didn't apologize, then he did get away with it.
I got a clip for that because I used it in one video, and he's like talking about like his NDA schedule. And he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is the year where I got kicked off Blip because a load of trolls mass reported me." So even then, he was like, not apologizing, not accepting responsibility, not admitting any wrongdoing. So
well, no, because Howard Stern did it, guys.
Yeah, I was a character then, guys. Everyone loved me for the character I was, and everyone knew I was a character. So that must have been really fun.
It'd be different if he had like years of counseling and like showed like receipts of like actually changing and stuff like that. But there's between that and like, oh, I changed.
Yep. And the best example of that is Pokemon, the 3DS Pokemon, where he says like, you guys are just lazy.
Oh man.
The next day he talks about that. He does not say he did anything wrong. The thing that's wrong is he has thousands of people watching him and telling everyone else what he said. That's what's wrong. So what's wrong is everyone listens to what I say and then reports what I say to everyone else. That's what he says is wrong. That was a great example.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
he used that exact same excuse with the incident. He's like, oh, there were only like 100 people watching. It's whatever, man. And it's like, excuse me?
Yeah. And my favorite part of this, Phil saying like, you guys are the loud calls. You guys are the loud calls. You create loud call culture. But that's so like, notice how it's, loud cows are not just random creatures that the internet decides to follow, right? That's not how it works. You have years and years of buildup of just insane behavior and crazy behavior that makes people become a loud cow, right? But Phil is still so like, it's such a random fact. Like, oh, just one day people decided to follow me. And oh, I rue that day. That's the day my life went to hell. That's the part that got me like, there's such a disconnect from reality in Phil's mind, which we all know, but he still thinks it's such a random thing that he's a lolcow, but it's the opposite of random.
He would have been a lolcow regardless. Even if he didn't jerk off publicly, he would have been a lolcow eventually. It just probably less people would have paid attention to him.
Yeah, good point. And he also thinks that the algorithm on YouTube is also random, right? So it just randomly chooses people to make famous. Like, oh, PewDiePie, just randomly give him all the views. Oh yeah, that's what they do.
He has this weird mentality that he believes some people are popular just for popularity's sake somehow. This works. They're just famous because they are famous. As if they've never done anything to become famous. They just one day they spawned as a famous person. It's like a character type that you pick.
Reality TV, Geordie Shore, Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So might have a bit of a point there.
It
definitely happens.
Some traits.
Yeah, but even they've gone to the effort of like having a film crew follow them around and gone on like press tours and things, and
there's much more that goes into making a successful YouTuber. And even if you do get that one viral hit that that's he always goes on about viral, it's virally popular, it doesn't equal success. They might be successful in that one video, but then that's it. For a lot of them, they won't see the same amount of views for every single video going forward. It doesn't work like that. You still have to put work in, even if you do manage to hit the algorithm right. So I don't think he quite grasps that.
Well, he did have that hit. He had the Homefront the Revolution video that went 1 million views.
Well, there you go. Perfect example.
Later.
And look at him now.
Yeah, like
exactly.
Luck is definitely involved with like becoming popular, but it's only one layer in the onion of gaining traction and all that stuff.
I think everyone knows that there has to be effort involved, but that's how Phil knows. He has to find why is he not as big as these people he's making fun of, like PewDiePie, and that's the excuse he comes to mind for. Barrett Wells coming in hot. They were born that way, or whatever Lady Gaga said. Coming in hot there. So I guess everything else talk about StreamElements before we keep moving on here. Don't want to make sure we miss anything anyone's talk about. Any thoughts here? DJ Gamebox, Tractor Goose, anything that I missed?
I won't be surprised if he's back with StreamElements, but I also will not be surprised if he's not back with StreamElements.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. I want to see how it really affects a normal stream, because yesterday does not count as a normal stream for him. It was a special event. How does contributions add up for a week of having to do the manual way? It's not a big deal. I think it's going to be fine, but will tips go down because of that in the long term? In a normal day, I guess we'll find out.
Slightly related, the description in his PayPal account, because he started doing that now.
Yeah.
4 exclamation marks.
Oh yeah.
4 sentences. 4 exclamation marks.
I have
No
it
And
here.
refunds.
disclaimer,
And the
And
disclaimer,
disclaimer.
yeah, the disclaimer.
which might be toss because you absolutely can get a refund on PayPal. Because
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's a business transaction. Like if the customer is not satisfied, like come on.
It's like,
Yeah.
but like, I don't. It's like, does that matter, right? Because like Phil can just say whatever he wants on that little form, right? That's my thing. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be. Is that against? Is PayPal don't do anything for that? But I know people now are on fire trying to get Phil off PayPal. I can tell you that. Just my messages on Discord, people are going nuts. It's like, all right, guys, I'm not into that ops thing. That's all you. But people are going nuts. That's all I can say is they are going hard to get PayPal canceled. PayPal.
All you got to do is make a convincing case. That's it. If you think he's breaking terms of service, make a case for it that PayPal is going to believe.
Right. At the same time, though, technically Phil has been lying on his Patreon for years, not just the Project 7 scam, but I'm pretty sure if you check it right now, he still says Ask the King is bi-monthly. When it's been delayed by up to like, what, 4 or 5 months? But, you know, some of these places, like I've heard Patreon is like a glorified payment processor. Yeah. And they just kind of shrug it off saying, well, it's the artist's responsibility to follow through. So
yeah.
Argument, Ask the King is every day.
He actually delivers it early, but he doesn't answer the $20 questions. So
yeah, he doesn't. Go ahead, DJ.
With chargebacks too. With PayPal, it's usually you request a chargeback, they send something in, and then PayPal goes, "Hey, yeah, you're right," and then chooses them. Or what it has happened, because I've done eBay transactions.
Okay.
They'll just use their credit card and go, "Oh, I didn't authorize this transaction," if they don't get their money.
Yeah. And Phil was quick to point that out. Now we have a new chargeback, what's this scandal happening, which started in the React content thing. The amount changed a lot throughout the day. It started out with a big amount, then it was raised to a giant amount, and then it was raised to, no exaggeration, over half the amount I've made today. So I love how the numbers are very fluid. It just can change to whatever you need. You know, there's no standard number.
Which I think King Jad said something that like only 5 people tipped over $100, and 4 out of 5 are regular tippers, and one that's tipped another $250. So who actually did the chargeback?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I want to get this right. Is it the Lonicus or the Ionicus Gaming? Sorry, just said in chat. It's easier for him to hide tips now, so it works the other way. He can make up what he wants about it either way. He can make up tips and he can make up chargebacks, and we can't really now see. You know, we can't tell what's fact or fiction anymore. So
oh no, we only have like 3 years minimum of like empirical evidence of all of his money, so we kind of know he's we can't get exact numbers to know that he's still scamming us, man.
It's not a big deal.
Also,
but go ahead.
Even if it's not intentional for him to have no transparency, everything now is manual. So, and he's sloppy as fuck. So he has to manually type your name and see what your name is from the PayPal comment, and this will inevitably lead to less transparency because he's sloppy and incompetent in running his setup. And now it's the worst it's ever been because nothing is automatic. Not the leaderboard, not the pop-ups, nothing.
And I know his excuses. You know, it'll be so easy for people to troll me now. You know, you automatically get troll names on the screen. But he could at least, the one that gets me is the member goal or the member total or whatever, because he himself the other day said how much of a pain in the arse that was to check how many members you're on. So just get that set up on your screen, on your OBS to show you your member count. I know showing a list of members is fucking difficult with StreamElements because I've tried myself and we're having to jumping through hoops ourselves to get that to pop up at the end of the stream. Yep. But the number of members, I'm sure, is piss easy to do. So I wish he'd sort that out because that'd save him precious seconds every stream, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's such a normal average streamer. Everyone can do that so simply, but of course, Phil,
you're suggesting you're suggesting he remove its stall tactic.
Good point.
I can't help myself, Goose. I do this all the time. I'm trying to help the guy, and I forget who I'm helping sometimes. So.
Good question. Did you guys notice how quickly he described tips as a business transaction instead of saying many times they are not transactional? I did not notice that, but that's a good shout out there, the Grimmer here, because maybe he realized the TOS is kind of, people are saying that the TOS of PayPal is changing, and if you are a business PayPal, which Phil admitted he does have a business PayPal, you can't accept something. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Does anyone know about that? I've read the facts now a few times, but I can't remember exactly what it said. But you can't accept personal tips or something. I forget.
Yeah. So you can't, if I followed it right, you can't withdraw your business funds with a personal account because that's, okay. Yeah, like it's not gift money. It's, a business. But like I said, I didn't really read too much into it, so sorry if I'm wrong.
Yeah, just something there that worth talking about, because that really does fuck Phil's system up. And let's get the system right. He gets tips every day. He takes out those tips the same fucking day, and then goes to WWE Champions with those. So any disruption in that chain of command is going to be bad for Phil. We're going to find out. I think today the new TOS goes into action though, so I guess we'll see. Okay. I do think we should move on though to the official Keem REE-act. Lots of things here. Tractor Goose, I'm going to throw it to you to start things off here because I know you restreamed the whole thing with the great restream channel. Well, let's go through a few highlights there. Yeah,
so luckily I did write some notes because like the annoying thing restreaming these marathons is that like you're going to tune out so much because it's just the exact same talking points. Although I will give Phil credit this time. His usual spiels about I was just a character and this people don't understand this back in 2008. Like the timing of each of those segments felt a little bit more like a freight train with the Keemstar REE-act compared to like the one where he's reacting to Wings or himself.
What do you mean by that exactly? What do you mean by that? Like freight train?
Oh, were they accurate? Like, because in the others he's sort of vague and like around this time and like sort of back then, I can't remember. And this one, were they a bit more?
Yeah, maybe that wasn't the best way to phrase it. I'm not sure. It's just it felt so disjointed and out of nowhere. Just hits you suddenly. So that's kind of what I meant by freight train. But so of the few notes I did write, although it is kind of a lot of text here.
I feel you.
There was just. Yeah, we have like a completely out of context quote. This was during stock footage in the June documentary, and he just says, haha, 2 phones. And it's just like, okay. He's like so desperately trying to add commentary, and it's just absolutely useless.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the understatement of the century. 2 seconds in, he's like, all right, I'm going to pause it right here.
Oh my God, 2 seconds. I think it was 5 seconds when he was listening to John and Howard. But yeah, 2 seconds, new record. This one's a big one, and it really irritated me. A weird fixation on Keemstar becoming a father, yet saying mean things on Halo. Like, why would a father do that? Why would he be? It's really weird, and this is pure speculation, but I think Phil's idea of fatherhood is like Hays Code era movies, like how the husband and wife are sleeping in separate bedrooms, or not bedrooms, but beds.
Yeah.
And the father's always wearing a nice suit and he's working at the job and he comes back and he's very squeaky clean.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Nuclear family stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
There was a point where June was going to highlight Keem saying a bunch of hateful slurs or whatever. Yeah. And like chat warns Phil about that. So he goes to full screen webcam to say, all right, guys, look, I'm not a racist anymore. And like he goes on for like 10 minutes. I used to say bad things and now I'm grown and matured. That's a usual talking point, but just suddenly out of nowhere because of chat. Best part
Yeah, go ahead.
The best part is June censored the hateful slurs anyways. We sat through a recycled rant for no reason.
Oh God,
It was awful.
2 points there, real quick, before you go to the next point. That part about the parenting part really got me too, because like, first of all, Phil said in the past that raising a child is not hard. Remember,
Having
it's hard to do. Having a child is not hard. Yeah, having a child is not hard. Sorry, ladies, it's easy. Just pop 'em right out.
So
Get some lube on there, pop 'em right out. It's easy.
God. So he did that talking point again in the marathon, and I hit the SOS button, and I'm like, no. People like Phil, when they talk like that, are the reason why women get offended at the phrase "we're having a baby," because it's like, it's like, I'm the one going through the labor. Why would you say that? And it's just like, I don't think that phrase is necessarily a bad thing to say, but the way when Phil, Phil's the reason why that phrase can have negative connotations.
Yeah, and think about how much of a stress that is to make that a negative, right? So Keem has a child, and his off time he is choosing to game, and he's trash talking other players, and that's like, he's a father. Why would he want to waste his time doing like that? Like, what was that connection?
He had like 2 hours. Just 2 hours himself.
What the fuck?
I spotted that because that came very early on, because that's almost top of my minimal notes that I had. And as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, we're going to start picking up on every little thing here. Any little negative thing you can pick up on, he's gonna pull him up on it. And that was like the first of quite a lot. In the short time I did see, he was he was going overboard with anything he could grab onto.
Also, I think it's worth mentioning that Keemstar can actually provide for his family and make sure his family is living comfortably without making that anybody else's responsibility. He made a business, built a business, regardless if that's the TMZ of YouTube or not. He provides for his family, and they're pretty well off. So respect to him, more respect than DSP will ever get.
I didn't know Keemstar had a cat.
I was gonna say, Phil is a father too, and he spends all his time streaming.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Notice that.
He's too busy. He's too busy in the non-streaming bits. He's like, babysit the streams, got to put on some pasta, maybe have a shower if it's that day of the week. Way too busy to have a family.
Have a jog, supposedly.
Oh yeah, jogging. Midlife crisis. That's right. This is what real fathers do. All right, guys, we got Chunky here. Hoping to get this chunky one out today. I hope we can hit this goal. This is chunky. Oh, it's shiny. I like that. So if you guys can do that, I'm a real father. So thanks so much, guys.
Careful now. Careful now. Jasper's going to go take Phil's credit card tonight.
Also, yes, by the way, chat member, I have seen a rainbow in the sky.
Yeah.
I've seen a double rainbow.
Oh, he did say that also when about this nonsense Keem thing real quick. Last point about the father's thing. He said, hey, I was a troll too, but I didn't have anything going on for me at that time.
Oh my God. I loved that one. He even worse. He was a nobody with no life.
I'm an asshole, but I had no life. Keem had a life. So he's worse than me. Imagine going to that point to talk shit about somebody. That's the point you go to. Is there anywhere lower to go than I did the same exact thing, except I had no life at that time? That's what he's doing. So, all right, go ahead, Dr. Goose. Let's move past this point.
Okay. He slammed Keemstar's early music projects, Dollar in the Woods, as bad and like a fluff piece. Meanwhile, Phil's is pertinent to games. It's relevant. It has a meaning. And then I was having a hard time writing down this quote, but I think he was saying something like, it was so bad that people would become stupid, pulled into a vortex, and the phrase I like out of context, wormhole level implications.
Yeah, this is when he talked about how bad Keem's music was, right?
Yeah.
This is a thing. He has to talk shit about everything Keem does. So let's go to level 1,000 million. How bad it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad it's going to suck out the smartness out of people, I think is what he was trying to say. Of wormhole level implications.
Last note, trying to relate it to how a detractor would talk about his audience, and he's trying to relate it to Keemstar's audience.
That's a good way to put it. The vortex.
Vortex, yeah.
He's definitely heard that word a few times. following the detractors like he does. Mind of the North Star, thanks so much for that gifted subs, my friend. Also, Mind of the North, make sure I say your name right. Mind of the North something. Thanks so much.
Star,
I got it right. Okay. Go ahead,
now,
Tractor.
Yeah. My favorite part of this Dollar in the Woods thing is that I would say about 3 hours later, this got retconned as creative. And it like Phil was like, all right, there's 4 things I've said Keem actually did good. And he was actually really creative with this song. And it's like, I don't know how we got the spin there. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And also, we're right about that point, kind of, a little bit going back. But I think we shouldn't skip over the fact that when Phil was talking about the video that Keem made about the level 1 thing, like that was earlier in the stream. But oh my God, I wrote it like it wounded Phil. He is so hot about that still to this day. And you can see he's just seething with it. You know, he's like, oh my God, this video he made. I don't care about it. I just want to ignore it. But hey, what do? We own the meme. Level 1 podcast, which he's trying to say, I don't think about it, yet I named my show after it, which is a fun position. Incorrectly.
Yeah. Mission 1.
Yeah. And that was also when he. Oh, sorry, Steve. That was also the time he was commenting how, you know, why is Keem walking around in his kitchen for this while he's insulting me?
DSP, by the way, he was recording shorts in his closet
about
his schedule.
He did.
So yeah, Keem walking around in a kitchen in a mansion apparently is worse than that.
Yeah, he's walking around in his kitchen because he doesn't find it necessary to film his one office from many different angles because he doesn't want to leave and show the rest of his house, you know.
And because he can. Like takeaway boxes everywhere and like
shit posts for Twitter. It's not like he was recording actual YouTube videos. It was just shitty Twitter videos on the front camera on the phone. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. You know what happens? Keemstar saw that tweet from Phil. It's like, okay, I'm gonna record something right the fuck now. I don't give a shit where I am. Unlike Phil, who has to watch where he is, has to point. All right, hold on. Let me make sure the alignment is correct. Nothing is on screen that I can't show the fans. Okay, this will work. You know,
make sure I look really depressed in the first 3 frames.
Get my sigh ready.
Make sure it's not a still image. It has to shake, wobble.
Phil's also Phil's also been angling his camera for the ideal skinny filter. I've seen Amberlynn Reed and Foodie Beauty use that tactic.
Yeah, I've been
it hides your neck. Because if you look down, your neck is going to puff out because it's a bunch of skin there. So you want your head to be up high, shows off the chin, and then the skinny filters are going to turn it into a Barbie doll. He's using that exact same tactic. It's hilarious.
Yeah, getting serious like MySpace flashbacks from these shorts.
Oh God, pointing down
the glory days.
That phone is on the fucking ceiling too. You know, as high as possible, looking down as much as possible. Get the feet in there too.
The different videos are also super inconsistent too. It's like he's trying to find out how people do it, but he can never get it right. This one time is like this, another time is like this, then like this. He's gonna try all the different angles until he figures out how real humans do it. But
and then there's, you know, I know in his stream he said he would do it, but it was also like he was trying to flex that weird pumpkin thing behind him as well. So there was that one short where he had to get it framed. Here's my pumpkin. Don't know if you've seen it, but
here in my garage.
Big ups, bro. Nice pumpkin. We didn't talk about the setup, the new Halloween setup. We haven't talked about that, which was popped out a few days early. A lot of speculation. Was that in hopes of getting the new animations going, new tips rolling in? There was a few slow days there that led to the change, maybe. But all the decorations were made by Kat there, so she was the mastermind of the entire setup there, which is really just takes a lot of work to put that together.
That's why there's a bale of hay.
Yeah, the obvious joke.
I had to go.
It's all business related, and he still owns it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a relic of the Beanie Baby mascots or whatever he did that one year. So yeah, he just thinks, all right, we get the new toy, the new decoration. It's very exciting. People will want to tip.
Yeah,
and there's no one. I mean, I know it's Phil, but how does he not see how shit it looks? Like having like little metal table, whatever they are, metal. They're not even tables, are they? They're like little storage thingies, and then putting a little cloth over them. Yeah, like cart thingies.
Yeah, they're utility carts. Great.
Yeah, and then putting a cloth over it, and it's just like, come on, man. Even just going and spending like, I don't know how much it is over there, but like I can imagine, like, you know, one of these things from IKEA, like the little double one, like just one
the same
two
one,
things, two boxes high. Put a few things, like 10 times better, but nope, you know.
I can answer that one. If you go to Target, as low as $20, you can get like, what was it, 9 cubes as a little shelf. You could get a couple of those for $40, and boom. You've got these little cubbies you can just put garbage in.
Yeah, exactly. He could have one. He could have one like that, couldn't he? Like the little 8 cube thing, and have that behind him, and he'd have space for all the shit underneath. He could have stuff on top. He could, you know, he could light it nicely. But
yeah, and then he doesn't have to cry about IKEA and how much every single step of going through the labyrinth. Actually, I think we talked about IKEA before, stating the obvious that it's a labyrinth on purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
That's the whole fucking point. That's the whole point of it. Is that's what it is.
Yeah, to keep you in there.
It sounds like too much effort. Way too much.
Also, you have to do it yourself. Yeah, you have to put up the furniture yourself.
Yeah.
What?
You can't be bothered following instructions. You need chat to tip him to tell him what to do.
It's the
It's
trouble,
saying
like,
insert screw A into slot B. What do I do?
It's the trouble, like, you know. You know, you say all this stuff, and then the answer is because it's DSP. It's too much effort. You're like, okay, yeah.
He doesn't have time for that.
If he was a little bit more creative, he could have had a stream where he put up that exercise bike that he couldn't put together, and maybe Cat wouldn't be 400 pounds now.
Oh man.
Yeah, remember that? Like exercise, like I just can't do it, guys. I give up. What? It's not rocket science. Oh yeah, broken. Yeah.
Just raise an issue that I've spoken about before in another video, that when you see like a lot of streamers will do like what Sam said, you'll have like boxes, like shelves, and they'll have things behind them displayed properly, nicely looking. It'll be like collections of video games or like statues or whatever, but there'll be like a display of them. Yeah. And people who properly collect stuff do that. They take care of their collections because their collections are normally centered around like one unifying theme. So they'll have like a lot of care and effort put into it, and they'll display it appropriately. They'll display it in a way that looks nice because it's their collection. They're proud of it and it means something to them. People who hoard don't. People who hoard have clutter. They have piles of it. They're ashamed of it. So they try to keep it out of focus, out of like eyesight as much as possible. So, that ultimately does end up with you not have anybody coming around to your house because you're just too embarrassed to have them round, or there's no room for them. But either way, you have a house full of shit. And if it's displayed like nicely on shelves and it's all kept clean and tidy, it's, people can say, wow, you're a collector of this thing. That's completely different to, well, I can't have anybody round, I can't have anything on. Do you know what? I'm just going to put these boxes here behind me so that I look like sort of different, and then that'll be it. So it's just another little piece of evidence to the DSP as a hoarder sort of theory that's on running.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not that, even if it's not as extreme as that, which I would agree it probably is, it just goes to show that his lack of sort of passion in anything outside of his stream. Really, it's I guess there's a tenuous link to gaming there, where he's, he happens to have little Street Fighter figures or something like that, so he can put them behind him. But it's not like it's not like he wants to put them there, because he feels that he's passionate about it. It's just, I've got these from 10 years ago when I got them for free in some shitty subscription box or whatever. It's,
but even there, you would have like more of a unifying theme. Like his collections are normally like whatever special edition he's got. So he's got stuff like from Assassin's Creed or Fallout behind him, and it's like, you're not somebody who's played like all of the Assassins. You're not like an Assassin's Creed channel. You don't have like any personal resonance with the series. And the same with Fallout, apart from like Fallout 4 disrupting your plans with Liana, you don't really sort of like make Fallout a part of your identity, and you've not said, let me tell you about all these great times I've had playing Fallout with my friends. And so it just reads more like, here's a bunch of gamer stuff I've got because I happen to play games, not here's this series or here's this franchise that I really love and I want to show my love for it.
It's like I've mentioned before. I don't think here, but I've mentioned before about Young Ye, and I know not everyone's a big fan, but he. At least, he's got it right, because, you'll see it behind him and it's all this stuff about, there's a lot of Kojima stuff. There's Death Stranding, Metal Gear Solid stuff, the arm from Metal Gear Solid 5 and all that. And it's like, I mean, the only reason I know of him is because of the Metal Gear link. And it's like, that belongs there. But
even Max, it's all fighting games. So there's not one particular series, but it's fighting games specifically. It doesn't have like Tomb Raider or Assassin's Creed cutouts or anything like that. It's just like the unifying theme of this part of gaming that is like important to me, and it's displayed in a way that you'd see it and think, all right, he's into this.
Exactly. It's like the wrestler Miro, who streams once in a while. Like he has like 4 arcades and it's playing different games at different times. Like it's not a real arcade, but like the fake arcades, like where you make your own and you can put whatever games. He has. So if he's playing something like a fighting game, he'll have 4 fighting games in the background playing the intro screens the entire time.
So just something relevant to the channel. Yeah.
And you're all saying we are saying very well, I should not to understate what everyone's saying, but this is all very normal stuff, right? It's just in the background you put stuff that is somewhat connected to you. And Phil just has this random throw up of just vomit, or whatever. And Mirka, I want to ask you, because I think we talked about it before. The beginning of the nonsense behind him came after the Keem's first shot at Phil, right? Like
immediately. It was like it jump-started his midlife crisis, because it's like the next day he was on stream with a bunch of garbage behind him, a bunch of toys and all of the status symbols that he uses, a bunch of garbage. And I would just like to mention, before maybe we're gonna move on to the next topic soon, I would just like to mention how dog shit his layout is for the podcast, because he has several ones, some of which are cropped out on the right side, so it's actually not like symmetrical. It's absolutely disastrous, and I hate it. I
hate Baxter for pointing out that there's a double space. No, I think it was Baxter that pointed it out.
I saw that.
So the space between the level 1 and the podcast. That's all I could see, and it's driving me mad. So thanks, Baxter.
It's terrible, man.
Think about good point there, Dennis. Like that's the saddest flex of all time, isn't it? Is like Keem coming at you. What can I do? I know, empty game boxes. This will show them. This will show them. I bought these. They mean nothing to me, but I bought them. And that's the important part. Like his fucking statues. You ever see that Condo Tour statues? You guys are talking about nonsense. Oh, wow. That is a sad, sad place. And I wonder what it looks like now in that house, because we haven't seen it for a while and you never know, but maybe there's more to it than just, I don't want to show you guys any part of my house except this fucking office. Because if that closet was any kind of sign of anything, it's just this random shit everywhere it can possibly go. And obviously we'll never know anymore. But let's get back to it. Keem, anything? Keem, obviously Keem REE-act. There's still some lot of good points to talk about.
Sure.
Go ahead, Tractor Goose.
If I'm sorry to harp on the background toys thing, I just to wrap up that thing real fast.
Yeah, sure.
There is technically one unifying concept back there, and it's his itty bitty Street Fighter figures. Not the ones that are the keychains, the little standing figures. I immediately recognized that they are a Kid Robot product, and looked up that they're sold in blind boxes. And Phil managed to gotcha all of those figures plus some chase variants. So there we go. We got it.
Real life gotcha.
Yeah. So
also, weren't they very cheap as well? They weren't like rare, super expensive, giving away promo things.
$5 or $6, for each box. It adds up fast. So yeah, I've got a few more notes on here. Let's see. I should do one that we can just brush aside because it was just weird to me. And mental health somehow turned into a ghost analogy, and I don't remember what happened. Someone else will have to help me with that.
Yeah. So he was talking about the Attica situation.
That was definitely something. Go ahead, TJ Gamebox. You want to start this one off?
Yeah. So first off, as someone who has actually met Attica at a meeting, he did like a group meet at at a convention. So like he was like, "Oh, I'm here at this location," and I actually got to talk to him for a little bit. Cool. Probably one of the nicest guys I ever met. So I probably post a picture when we did our meetup. They did get a picture with him. First off, I say that. Second, of course, rest in peace, Etika. Joy-Con gang, all that stuff.
Yep.
Him trying to immediately start crying when he was starting to talk about Etika.
Oh my god.
Trying to make it about him, trying to champion this was probably one of the parts where I was like, what the hell, Phil? Like,
did he fucking cry?
He tried.
He tried.
Yeah,
He tried to cry.
Yeah.
We had a T 2.0 moment. Like, he's recycling everything.
Yeah, but then he started to get like heated anger and tried to be like, Keemstar caused him to die.
Oh my god.
He caused him to die. And then, of course, the video played on and showed that not only was that is actually Keemstar they were both really good friends, and that his mother had to go out and say, no, they're really good friends. So after that, he was like, but despite all that, and he still and just tried to do a 180 with still trying to look like the better man.
Yeah. So, real quick, I want to stop you on that because I want to know, because Phil clearly watched these beforehand, and I wonder if this just maybe an oversight by him, because this made you look horrible, right? Because they the video afterwards, Keem had no relation to Etika dying. Like, that was the point of that little segment there. But Phil just, I guess, didn't see that or just didn't care because it really looked like an asshole. Like, made Phil look like a total asshole. Phil says one thing, the video says 2 seconds later, no, that's not what it was, and then I don't know what happened there.
It was connected to Keem, two of Keem's tweets, and one of them didn't seem that crazy. It was Keem feels that too many people say they're depressed when it's life is difficult and sad, whatever. Shoot, I'm losing my train of thought. Well, I can bring up the second one that was kind of a slam on Big Pharma, but also Keem was a bit of an asshole because it read like Big Pharma invented social anxiety. So that's weird. But yeah, it was related to those tweets that Phil went on that huge tangent about you do not understand mental health. And then I was depressed. That again.
Oh no.
Yep, he did it again.
Oh.
Let's see. Somewhat of a related note to the Etika said, "Hey, Keem and I are actually on okay terms." The screenshot of Etika's mom saying, "Look, it's not Keem's fault. He's actually an okay guy," and I forget the exact wording, but basically he's a nice guy was the highlight that Phil wanted to cover, and he's calling Keemstar nice is the equivalent of emailing the devil and saying he's a cool guy or something like that. It was bizarre. He indirectly pretty much said Keem is the devil. And it's just
for somebody who claims for somebody who constantly claims that life is not black and white, he sure believes that people that he considers bad can never do things that are good or things that are liked by other people. It's I don't think Keemstar is a great person, but he's done some things that have helped others. And he's done some things that have hurt others, of course. But it's not black and white like that. Just like DSP is not black and white. He's probably done some nice things. I just don't know about him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All this shit, too, is from Phil watching one video about somebody, making all these decisions about somebody, when he says that's what all the detractors do, right? Is watch one thing about Phil, then learn about it, then they get that nugget of truth, and then that's it. But that's all Phil is doing, is all these reacts, is looking at a video, making decisions about a person based on this video, and being very strong-willed in his thoughts about the person from that one fucking video, which is what he says we all the detractors do, right? And I do think we should talk about the part where Phil was talking about Kat and Kat's thoughts on
one more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing before that. Dacky pointed out in the chat that he also said he used to drink to not be depressed.
Oh, go ahead, Steve. Steve, go ahead. What does that mean?
We talked about this last week with Baxter, with the difference between being an alcoholic and abusing alcohol as a coping method, and it's exactly the same thing again. It's that thing of you might feel like you are this thing, but you're not, because other people like actually are, and you saying you are when you're not is really insulting and demeaning to those people and their lived experiences. You might feel sad and upset sometimes. That doesn't make you depressed. That's state depression. That's not trait depression. That's not like the depressive disorder. That's you feeling upset. That's you feeling sad for something. And I think it was when I think it might have been after T died. It might have been when he'd lost things with John and Howard. But either way, he was like, you know, at that point I was feeling really sad, and that's when I was depressed. It's like, well, yeah, that is a natural response to the circumstances you're in. Drinking to excess doesn't make you an alcoholic. It just makes you somebody who abuses alcohol, likely to do it because it's better and easier than dealing with whatever it is you're trying not to deal with. That's why most alcoholics drink, is to cover a trauma, is to deal with a trauma. But again, he just didn't do it enough. But when he's at this point now, he can go, well, that was my alcoholism. I was an alcoholic. That was my depression, which is just bloody done again.
Yeah.
That's what it serves for him now. You know, that's the purpose it serves for him now.
Yeah, just a tool to make him look better and not to blame as much as he should be, right? Like, that was my alcohol. That was my depression. What other things, you know? That was my $1,000 I lost. That was my... He's bringing Cat into it with the cat.
Save.
yeah. That was my save game. That was my tea. All that stuff. He's bringing it up, right? But about Cat, he did mention that he talked to Cat during the 50,000... Oh, by the way, Steve, did you get your... Did the $50,000 check clear for you, Steve?
No.
Join the podcast. Oh, okay.
Join the podcast.
Yeah. We'll send that later. That's the. Thank you for accepting that offer, by the way. Thank you so much.
Also, we forgot to say about the initiation ceremony, which includes the payday.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
So, get ready.
That's coming next week if we can reach the goal, guys. Your whole paycheck into Steve. There you go. But yeah, so Cat. He said that Cat. If I make. Correct me, please, Tractor Goose, if I'm wrong on this. But he said that he talked about it with Kat when Keemstar first made that offer. And Kat said, which it just doesn't sound like something Kat would say, but I don't know Kat so well. She said, you know who he is. Why do you want to talk to him? Don't talk to him. And Phil talked to him anyway, of course. But Kat was against it the whole time. Is that right, Tractor Goose? I think.
That's pretty much it. It was a Kat agrees with me segment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Keem is toxic. I shouldn't talk to him, and Kat agrees with me. That was
not even take his call.
Yeah, don't even take his call. It was his it was his hot new deets to help round out, give you the full context to why he rejected Keem's offer. This was the groundbreaking reveal.
Oh, yeah.
Kat agrees with me.
This is purely to get at Tractors to say he was stupid for not taking the 50,000, by the way. Just more like, hey, guys, this is why I didn't take it. My wife said that. My wife. That's what the whole point of that segment was.
Everything.
You know what this leads me to believe? That Kat is perfectly okay with her husband, instead of participating in some business project and getting a lot of money, she's perfectly okay with him just sitting there humiliating himself for likes and tips every single day.
Yes.
So I guess that makes her look much worse than if that was supposed to make her look bad and like morally right. It didn't. It just make them both look like clowns.
Go ahead, TJ. Look like you want to say something. Am I right on that?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, cool. And yeah, that's a great point. And that's what makes me believe. You know, Phil didn't say the full details. He said, "Hey, Keemstar wants to talk to me. Should I talk to him?" No. I'm guaranteed he'd bring up the 50,000. You know he didn't. Just no way. Dennis, great joke there. Did Jasper agree? We need the whole family consensus.
Yeah.
Good joke. But can we talk about the part, Tractor, where should I call you Tractor or Goose? I'm not sure. I'm on the fence here.
Whatever you want, man.
Okay.
I guess Goose. If I had to pick.
All right, Goose. So
you could be our wingman.
Yeah, perfectly. So the mental, Keem was calling other people mental or mentally problems and stuff. Phil went really deep on that, and he said, Keem is not a medical professional, so you shouldn't say anything about people's mental health because that can hurt people.
3 days after that meltdown. 3 days.
He said those words, Sam. Those words came out. It can really hurt people if you talk about their mental health if you're not a medical professional. So who was he making? I forget who Phil was saying, but they didn't get the white coats. watch out because Phil must be a medical professional, I guess. I don't know.
Jesus.
The Snow Carl and us. 3
He
days
must
after
be.
that Snow Carl tip, he's like that.
Yeah, since he was claiming it was facts that person was mentally challenged, mentally ill, mentally troubled, whatever he said, but he was claiming that's facts. That's not slander. So I guess he is a professional at something. We just don't know what.
Yeah, and you can say whatever the fuck you want as long as you're saying facts, I guess. As long as you think they're facts. Maybe that's why Phil doesn't think he's racist, because he's like, well, there was a black person walking. I guess that is a true statement. There was a black woman walking on the street. So
Nugget of truth.
About to take your black pack, apparently.
Yeah.
That might have really happened, I guess. I don't know. But go ahead, Tractor Goose. Anything else we should talk about?
2 more things that I wrote down. I think. Hold up. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
that's
problem.
the dollar in the woods. Repeatedly says Keem's only early success was promoting a Minecraft knockoff, and I want to uninstall something for him repeating that over and over. It's because, you know, Keem's channels kept getting banned early on.
Yeah.
So it feels like, okay, that's a failure. He's just a failure. So the only thing he was successful at until he became Drama Alert was a Minecraft knockoff. Did you know it's a knockoff of Minecraft, by the way?
What?
I don't even remember the name of it anymore.
Fortress Craft or whatever, which came out a year before Minecraft.
Look at early Xbox.
Oh yeah, that
Live
is, okay,
thing,
yeah,
wasn't
that,
it?
this
Yeah.
one. Sorry.
Yeah. But just any and when it came in, let's break it down, right? All of these reacts are the person does something, and Phil talks about how it relates to him, how he faced the same hardship, even worse, right? And like every single pause is like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. Let me tell you the story about it. It's like, that's not what we're here for. Is how it relates to it relates to, you know, Phil Burnell, right? I mean, that's not how I think react should go, right? You really want to react on the person, but all he does is say, this is how it directly is related to me, and I'm sure you guys want to know that. That's it. And shitting on the person, of course. That's the other intangible that he adds, right? Is shitting on the person, saying how it reacts to him. That's it. That's what you get with those awesome reacts. But go ahead, Tractor. Anything else?
Oh, Keem's beard.
Oh yeah.
That's my last note. 2 words, Keem's beard.
It's just 2 words painted a picture.
Yeah. That is bad too somehow.
Now, I will agree. It was not the best beard that Keem had, but like Phil went on for at least 5 minutes. It was really weird, and it sounded like he was slamming Keem for. Oh yeah, because it's like Phil stating that beards are high maintenance, pretty much. And it's like, imagine how long he has to spend every day making sure that it's perfectly chiseled or something along those lines. And it's just like, look, I may not have a beard, I may not be able to grow one, but even I know beards are high maintenance. Like, thank you, Captain Obvious. Again, like,
the only thing chiseled on Phil are those JPEGs.
Yeah. Hey.
Go ahead, Steve.
It's like no conception of how long it takes you to have like a personal like hygiene routine.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like it takes a lot of maintenance, but over time you only spend like a couple of days, a couple of minutes each day. So like, trim that one there because that's a bit long, or you know. It's really very quick. It's much more effort to try and stay like clean shaven because you have to shave regularly. When you're growing out a beard, most of it is just growing it and making sure it grows into like the shape you want. So it's just this idea of like you must spend so much time looking like good.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? Yeah.
You think that someone that was married would be, you know, have like the immediate concept, because the second I like got with my girlfriend, I immediately like now I use shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah, you're smart. You step up your game, right? Yeah. I get it.
Soft beards are pretty nice.
Yeah, because at some point you represent not just yourself, but your significant other that you're in a relationship with. So if you go outside and you look like a bum, and that's not gonna make both of you look good. So yeah, just like shave, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to, you know, this is Phil Burnell talking here. You know, this man does not have any right to say anything about anyone's appearance or, you know, hygiene, if we have to go there as well. It's just because, you know, this is a man that clearly doesn't shower before he comes on, at least the morning stream. And he gives me that vibe, just looking at him. You know, when you stay over at someone's house and like you might have a shower, but you have to put like yesterday's clothes on, and and I look at him and I feel like that. Like that's the vibe I get from looking at PSP. I'm like, this man does not. Yeah, he's not in a position to talk about anyone's appearance.
It just goes to show how he feels about, hygiene, is that, wow, he takes care of his beard. That's a bad thing, right? That's just all you need to know about a person when he says making fun of someone because let's recap what Phil has made fun of someone for. Playing games while they're a father, being a troll online when they also have a life, right? Because Phil did the same thing, but he didn't have a life. And now it's taking care of your personal hygiene. So that's just my top 3 right now of things he's made fun of Keem for, which are extremely valid points.
The music stuff. While he has a playlist of terrible songs from 15 years ago that played before every stream he has.
But the real question, Meerkat, is which one is the best?
Oh,
which song is stream best? I don't know. I like there is one. There is one that was like, it barely has any DSP stuff in it. It has like a Unleash the Beast, like a sample in it that DSP just says Unleash the Beast, and then it starts just some instrumental. That's all. The one that has the least DSP in it is my favorite.
I think that one might be in Just to Play's Doom edition, where Phil's playing one of the classic levels and he starts humming the original song.
Oh God, you got me on Just to Plays. God, man, what a legend! Just to Plays.
And like Josta does it as like a music video, and it comes up at the bottom, Doom song by Phil Burnell. I think that one.
My favorite's Zombie Apocalypse, easily. So that one's got a 6 feet.
Yeah. Didn't people unironically like the Back in Time tune as well?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
Yes. Tevin used it.
Meerkat hates that one. Videos. Yeah, Steve does too. Apparently, I like that one. You guys are.
I don't know what it sounds like because I only know Meerkat's version of it now. But like, I'm sure I saw someone, at least one person say, "Oh, I actually like this one because it, brought me some sort of nostalgia or something," and now Meerkat's made it listenable. But yeah, they're all shit.
That version of the song is only half of the song. Is the other half includes the time warp.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
that's been edited out. Thankfully, I don't need to hear that every single time. So that's one small blessing. Although unfortunately, because he got somebody to trim out parts of his songs and whatnot, Zombie Apocalypse is like ever so slightly offbeat now. Because like they trimmed out like one verse or something so that it finishes faster. Okay. But yeah, it's like it just feels off. I'm not the best with like music compositions and stuff, but it's just like something's wrong and I can't put my finger on it.
That's interesting. I'll have to look at that.
Jiggy does it for copyright reasons, because same with like his pre-stream art, like somebody's made that for me, and at some point in the future they might like try to claim it.
So being the end of Back in Time was Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes, that was for copyright. The other part was to cover up like some of the edgy humor. So Falcon Punch has it's been trimmed out the part at the beginning that gave context to why Phil said Falcon Punch. And it was from Heavy Rain actually. And it's when I forget the names of the characters. I'm sorry, but it's when the husband and wife are like arguing about Sean, I think, or Jason. And like, I think in the original playthrough, Phil, for whatever reason, had to pick a side, even though that's not the point of the scene. Each character is frustrated because they have like bad communication, like their marriage is falling apart. But Phil, I think, later said like, the wife wasn't considering how the husband felt. And so she was being a bitch and he wanted to Falcon Punch her. So he tried.
Okay.
Sure.
Wow.
Never mind that the husband isn't considering how the wife feels either. And that's the point of the scene. So yeah, that discussion got trimmed out so that Phil can hide the fact that it's basically a DV song. Like, they want to
Wow.
you know?
Yeah. By the way, in the Back in Time song, there is a rape joke, and it's still in the song.
It's still in there.
These poor unfortunate souls, they got raped. La 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 la.
Too
that's,
fucking bad.
You can go
Too
check it out.
fucking bad.
Anyways, I think now we're going into clickbait
Yes.
territory. So it's WWE Champions Time. I think we should
Time.
officially say it, unless there's something. Any last words on the Keemstar stuff?
I have two last words on the Keemstar thing because I haven't said much about it.
Yes.
I kept writing down that he was focusing on little things, every little thing. He kept looking at the camera more than he normally does. And the best one, though, after a long section on how Keem supposedly flip-flops on something, I don't know exactly what he was talking about because I was flicking through it earlier today. Derek piped up and said that he liked the narrator's voice, and Phil had to say something because it's Derek, and he said, "Yeah, I agree, Derek. I like his voice too," or something like that. So I just thought I'd bring that up.
I think during the Etika section, like, I think even Derek bounced. He was just like, "Whoa, no!" But yeah, so there's like something very sad, about Etika, and Phil is with his horrendous offensive takes, and then out of nowhere he's like, "All right, see you later, Derek," and like it caught me by surprise. And so you can really say, "Fuck you, Derek." It broke my voice and everything.
Amazing.
Oh man! But anyways, somehow we've already been at this for an hour and a half almost, so we do have to move on to our WWE Champions Time. And Mirka, I'm going to ask you to lead this section here. Get our questions going for our man TJ.
Okay,
and,
I think first for those who don't know, we should probably explain the game and how it works, and then we give the stage to TJ because we have some questions and he has some answers ready to go.
Yes.
Right. Now, WWE Champions is a mobile game that is similar to Candy Crush, but with wrestlers. So they fight and you match the gems. And what sucks about it is also it's low-key turn-based, so you can't really get in the groove of breaking the gems because after every breaking of a gem, the opponent gets their turn. So that makes it extra trash.
It's sorry to interject.
Yeah?
It's basically Puzzle and Dragons in that sense.
Yes, Puzzle and Dragons.
Oh God, yeah. Wow.
Sorry for being rude and interjecting.
Oh, sure.
His eyes just opened up.
Wow, remember that.
Right. DSP really, really likes that game.
Oh, yeah.
To the extent where it's been proven through multiple sources, scientifically, we're talking about, not just speculations and bullshit, that he has spent an outrageous, life-changing amount of money on that game.
Yes.
All
minimum
right.
45,000. Minimum. That's the minimum we have on the bank leaks, right? And what
28%.
outside of that, we don't know. But that's how much was on just the bank leak section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now me and ALT, we've been playing this game for a couple days, and I couldn't even figure out how to pull a character. I could not.
I got it too, by the way.
Yeah?
Okay, good.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, fuck,
Let me read out
now.
some of DSP stats. I'll be really quick.
Yeah.
Some of DSP stats. All time, he's won 20,000 battles. He has been playing for 2,060 days, and he's been consecutively logging in every single day for 1,705 days. In all time, he has a 99.4 win percentage. Okay? And he's a leader of a guild where he's actually a co-leader. And he has a bunch of cool stats. Anyways, you can also find me in the game with a handle only iced Hogan. So if you want to add me to your champions, you can go and check it out. Anyways,
that consistent login streak is longer than Kat's been living there.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It goes back before she moved in.
Yes. So now, TJ, anything I missed that you think is important to add, and then we're going to talk about generally the gacha stuff and what makes them like the game so much.
So he now has his 5th Sit Star now. He has 5 of them now. He just made Shawn Michaels a Sit Star. Isn't that ironic?
We should say though, real quick. What how does it work? Like people saying 6 stars. Some people in the chat might like, what's a 6 star? I don't know what that is. So
how do I pull?
Yeah, how do you pull? How do the characters work? Why do wrestlers matter? I guess.
So So currently you can't pull sit stars. Steve's out of here.
Fuck this. I'm out. Sam too.
See you later,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
They went to get their credit cards.
Yeah.
So you can pull characters, but you can pull them at certain rarities. If you're played any games like Genshin Impact or anything like that, where you get like the 1-star or a Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem Heroes or whatever on the phone.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So you can put like a 1-star Roy, and then you can upgrade it to like a 2-star and a 3-star and a 4-star. Think of it like that. You can pull a Brock Lesnar at 5-star gold,
Okay.
but like that's how the star levels work. The higher the star level, technically the better the character is because they have boosted stats, health, attack, defense, all that stuff.
Okay, makes sense.
The part that Phil cares about with his polling is that the newest character, usually for the next 3 to 4 months, is going to give him even more rewards to the contests to get even better stuff. So it's a
3 to
constant
4?
rolling.
Yo,
So,
3 to 4 months. That's super generous. I played a Yokai Watch gacha for like a year and a half, and characters would fall out of prominence within weeks. You had to get the next I think it's triple Z rank now.
Wow.
Like last I checked it. It's insane.
Yeah. So, for example, let's say a character Xavier Woods, King Woods, came out, and he came out like 2 months ago. In this contest that's going on right now for Fashion Boss, if you use him, you get a substantial amount of points that could go towards the solo contest. So that's an example right there. Or someone that I've had for a long time, which is The Rock, the most electrifying man at sports entertainment. The specific one, for some reason, they decided a year and a half after he released, which I pulled for free because he came out of a free chest. And he, for some reason, if you used him, you got a substantial amount of points too. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
Okay, so basically
like,
the characters you have have different benefits at different times, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah,
Okay.
the way they rate that is by how many times that character has actually been pulled. So if only out of 10,000 people that play, only like 40 people have him, they'll go ahead and make him the bonus character to try to get people to pull more.
Clever.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
Did you have any general questions for me, by the way?
Well, yeah, because we're going to discuss how much DSP has pulled. So first, you have a method to calculate at least the minimum amount of money that he spent. What is that method?
Okay, so prepare yourself. So I play the game to the point where I can get everything I can possibly get that is the minimum score. Whether it be talents up, whether it be playing the game for like 5 hours, or doing the event, to the point where I would get to the minimum score. And if there's ever a case where I can't get to the minimum score, I am part of a faction called the Franchise, or Team Slam, who has a spreadsheet that we help create for each person so they know how much they can get without spending any money whatsoever. So then usually I'll take my score, wait for DSP to show up at some point at the top 100, and then take my score and minus it from his score. So I'll get the difference. I take the difference, and then I divide it by how many points you can get per coin, like of spending. Because one coin will give you X amount of points, like 4,000 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you take that, once you get that amount, you get how many coins he would have had to use to get there. Once you have that, you can divide it by how many coins are in a $100 pack, which is the cheapest pack. Because they usually do like 7 coins for $20. But if you buy 100 of them, you get 5 extra coins. So
wow. That's how you do it. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So go ahead.
And then once I divide that by the pack, I find out how many packs he bought to go ahead and get to there. And then just move the decimal over, and that's how much money you have.
Mm-hmm. That does sound reasonable, at least for like a minimum amount of like an estimate, because we know for a fact that he spends money. It's just up to, what kind of amount we're talking about. So along these lines, you've seen him and you've posted on Twitter that he logs in during streams, on breaks, after streams, late at night. What do you have to say about that? Anything like interesting with that? When he goes to the bathroom, he's playing the game?
Yeah, so you can usually catch him when he's on, and it's always like before his stream, after his stream, at 1 a.m. his time, and usually in between. And there's never been a time where that account has been logged in, except for once. I was thinking I was watching an LSB stream, rest in peace LSB, and he went on his phone for a second to go check something, and he appeared online, like his game was still on.
Wow. Yeah. So one of my questions is, when you go in the game, is he literally like, okay, I'm going to play a game against somebody now, or is there a lot of maintenance to do? Like, what do you have to do in the game? It's not all about battling, right? You have to do other crap, right?
No, it's about finding the characters, because they give you a tier list now inside the game, and who's an S tier, who's an A tier, and then equipping stuff to make them more powerful, because they came out with these straps, which can give them more attack or more defense. And then there's also plates now, which do stupid stuff like if you match a blue gem, we're going to just populate a whole bunch of red gems in there for you. And if those ever match, you get more MP.
Is there any skill involved? Like, is there any aspect of skill in this game, or is it literally get the best you?
There is skill until you spend a lot of money, and then it's about you have accumulated a character where you can press one button and it's a one-hit KO. Like his Brock Lesnar, that he has Sit Star, has a submission that does about all your health. So if you can't kick out of the submission, you're done.
Oh, wow. So you get a 99% win rate then.
That makes a lot of sense.
I have a quick question related to that.
I have
yeah, sure, go ahead.
I have like a character, King Booker. I gave him a strap that has 50%, 50% gem defense, which I randomly got just from playing the game. And I gave him all the defense strats. So you have to do 120% more damage in order to go ahead and do any damage to King Booker. And he has such a low rate of MP charge that I can press one button, use a finisher, and 9 out of 10 games I win just because he can't kick out. That's the skill. Just from playing and grinding the game. That's quote unquote skill.
Here's a question from a member, Major EP. Shout outs to you. So clearly you enjoy the game, TJ. It's safe to say you like playing the game, right?
I have to make myself like the game now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, like I have to find ways to make it entertaining. Like I'll do it like, here's a stupid Edge who's not really that good in the game. Let's make him Sit Star. So I just made him Sit Star. Or I like using Rey Mysterio. Okay, let's make him Sit Star. But helping out my faction members has been the other way I've been able to have fun with the game, because they usually message me, be like, "Hey, what's the best move set for Ricky to Dragon Steamboat?" Because they know I use him. Like, okay, here's the best way to play him. Or like when I was talking with DSP in one of those discords, and he was like, "Hey, how do you use Big E, the trickster?" And I would explain to him and Kier, and I know who he is, but like, you don't have to invest much into him.
Legendary.
Yeah, so good.
And then you add me like, "Oh, thanks for so much for the help," and stuff like that. I'm just saying that, like, you are such an idiot.
I should have asked him for a shout out.
Yeah. That'd be great.
No worries, man. Just give us a shout out.
Does his roster impress you? Is that like to you, like as a player, you're like, wow, that's pretty awesome, a great roster? Or could it be better in some way? What are your thoughts about that?
I did send a screenshot to my guild members, and they all look at it and go, "Wow, he spent a lot of money." That's all they ever see, even with everything.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
It's not about who you have; it's about how you use them. That's how it always has been in this game. If you magically get, Kevin Owens, who is now really broken in the game because they found a way to break him, they're like, "Okay, cool, just use him. Just don't ignore everyone else. Make him as 5-star gold, Sit Star, whatever you need to do, and then you're happy." And a lot of people become happy like that. So.
I had a question. Is it true, because I've played Supercard and that's how it works there, if you see that you're losing a match, because it's easy to see sometimes, you just close the game and you don't really lose the game. Is that valid in Champions?
100% true. Only doesn't count really in faction events, where if you're going against another faction or against another person, where if you do that, you can restart the match, but your health's at 1. So,
okay.
the way to it's here, like doing that all the time.
Yeah, so that's partially where the 99% win rate comes from, because it's like nobody has a win rate like that. If you actually play fair, you can't have a game where you win 99% of the times. What's the point in playing then?
Well, that's real quick. TJ, is that are those top players? Because if that's true, like Meerkat said, he's winning 99% of the time. It seems like the least fun game in the world. But is that kind of I've never played a gacha game. Chu likes them, my wife likes them, but I'm not in that world. So is that part of the appeal though? Is that, hey, I'm invincible here. I don't give a shit. I can just win every battle I do. Is that the goal, right?
In theory, yes, but every card has a counter. Like,
okay.
For example, Brock Lesnar, if you put a play called Escape Artist, which means 33% of the time that you swipe a gem, you break out of the submission. Like, you get a 1 in 3 shot each swipe, which by odds, you're eventually going to kick out by like the 3rd, 4th, 5th swipe. So you're not going to be able to kill me. And then you're just stuck there and like, okay, now what do I do? Like,
so there's an element of skill, but it's not like in terms of the Bejeweled Match 3 gameplay. It's more a meta construction of your deck and how your superstars. So it's that more than anything else, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's and it's the same with like similar aspects. Like a trickster has a 10% chance of just immediately kicking out of your move. Just you don't do anything whatsoever with that move. And of course, for the computers.
Okay, go ahead. There's a high chance of what Meerkat said being true, right? Like he does say, okay, I'm going to lose this one, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's kind of, we can say that's confirmed then, I guess, to some degree. If that is the case where even the best lineup has chances to lose and he is still 99% to win, he probably does cancel the game sometimes.
Yeah, 0.6% of the time, probably something like that. Like the rare occasion where they get a match against somebody who's countering his card and out of frustration. Because you can see Phil doing that. He's not on stream. He's not got anything like publicly that people are going, oh, he's rage quit. He can safely just be like, all right, well, fuck you then, and leave.
Fuck this.
Or in a tour, if you are facing somebody and you lose, you can pay $300 cash or $3 in real life to go ahead and redo the match, and go all the way back up to like full health, while your opponent's stuck at the health you already put him at.
Damn. I want to see how many times you have to use that.
And every time you lose, it goes up by another $3, so it'll be $6, then $9.
Oh my god, I would pay to know how high it's gone.
It's like using red orbs in DMC5, but so much worse. Dang, got to revive for 13,000.
A super chat question here: how powerful is Santa Hogan compared with the others?
Well, it depends if you've been a good boy, brother.
Okay, honest answer. One of the most powerful in the game.
Okay, there we go.
Is it more powerful than the zombie Hogan?
Yes, because to level up Santa Hogan, it's exclusive tokens that only happen during Christmas.
Oh
yeah.
So he's naturally better than Gold Hogan, right?
Yes.
Dang.
It's just you have to wait till Christmas and buy a whole bunch of evolution tokens and then level up. So everyone has a Santa Hogan. It's just different levels because it's hard to level up. Like mine's 4-star bronze, and he's gonna stay there
until you get another chance this Christmas, I guess.
Yeah. We did they did a ripped miss in July.
Rip miss. Awesome.
Rip miss.
I'm going to paraphrase a question from Demater in chat. How much life does the game have, right? So if you're Phil, you're maxing out your fucking team. What do you have to do every day that requires your login and your time? I mean, is it I know they just added the 6 stars to get more of your money, but is it just endless shit you can do? Like, just there's always something to spend if you want to?
Okay. So every month they give you a free character and a chase character to chase throughout the entire month. So for example, this month it's Chad Gable and Can Shamrock is the one that you have to grab. Because of that, they do new tours every single day to go ahead and get more points towards getting that Ken Shamrock. So while also leveling up your not Gable, Matt Riddle. Sorry, Matt Riddle. So it's 2 MMA people. So you level up your Matt Riddle. Yeah, you level up your Matt Riddle to go ahead and get more points to the events, and then you do your dailies, and then every week they release a new character, which is Friday through Monday the event goes on till.
Damn.
How frequent are these events? Because I know we all joke about how there's, new bill coming up must mean there's a new Champions event. I think like really that frequent that somebody like Phil would be plugging money in constantly.
Depends on what the event is. Like they'll do a midweek event where it's like, oh, Hall of Famers, where they did that, and you got a whole bunch of Sit Star tokens, so you're able to level up. So like I got 10 Acro tokens, so I leveled up Rey Mysterio just for free, just because you did the event, just because you played the event. Or your faction got enough points to get Hall of Fame tokens, so you brought up Hall of Fame Undertaker.
Wow. We're all kind of just surprised here.
I just think it's like addict, like, but when you talk about people who are addicted to something, you're normally talking about a substance or a habit that's external, like you're addicted to shopping, or you're addicted to porn, or you're addicted to whatever. But this is something incredibly new, because it's not a thing that you could have been addicted to at any point other than the last, say, 10 years, where this sort of game and this sort of your phone and that whole mobile gaming has become a possibility. So it's a really new thing for me to see when he's like plugging money into this rather than going out and anime Blu-rays and things.
And you wonder why the EU has been regulating it so much now.
Yeah.
Because it is chasing a feeling, right? It is just chasing that feeling of wow, I got this pull, right? I mean, TJ? Is that the moment that wow, your dopamine's hitting is when you get those nice pulls? I mean, or is it winning a good match or winning a high level match? I don't know the phrasing that we use, but is the pulls the draw, right? I mean, I don't know. Is it collecting your team? I know there's a lot of aspects here, but what do you think?
It's a bit of both. It's when you get that random bag and you somehow accidentally get the chase character, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I can go ahead and play it, see how he does. Mm-hmm. Or when you do a tour and it's like, oh, you finally got enough gold or enough tokens to take that character to 5-star or to Sit Star, and you're like, okay, cool, this is awesome. And you can continue forward. That's what it is for me. I see no appeal in the loot whatsoever because I already know it's rigged. I already know 100% that it's rigged. So I can explain that more in detail if you guys want. If you guys got a minute on the loots and everything.
Yeah. Let us know how the pulls work. When we say pull, what does that really mean?
So you use coins to go ahead and do pulls, and you're giving percentages of how of you getting these pulls, because per regulation you have to say the odds of getting those pulls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It tells you that the feature will have like 8 characters and a bunch of shards. The problem is that it doesn't tell you individual percentage. It tells you that you got like a 1.3% of pulling a featured pull. So that means you don't know how much percentage it actually is to get the new character.
No.
You only know that it's a 1.3%. So you think, oh, I'm going to go do 100 pulls because then that means I have to get a featured, right? No.
I'm assuming it's the same sort of situation as... Sorry, man. I was just going to say, I assume it's exactly the same situation as like FIFA with Ultimate Team. It's like, they now will tell you the odds of getting say like a Team of the Week player, but that's 11 players plus substitutes basically. So that's there's 17, 18 players you could get or whatever it is. So yeah, I'd imagine it's the same sort of thing.
So you can get like for example, it's like, oh, you're promised one feature pull. There will be shards for that character between 5 and 50. So that means 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 shards you can pull too.
Okay.
So that means that that's for 30 characters technically that you can pull, and 20 of them are shards. Mm-hmm. And then 5 of those people are common people. I mean, top people that they gave away for free. So in the end, most of the time, you're probably that 1.3% turns into legit a 0.01% that you can actually pull the new character. Wow. But if you're Phil and you're spending $400, $500, $600 and you keep getting 50 shards, 25 shards, 30 shards, eventually you get the character. Eventually. Because of course you brute force your way through, but you're spending hundreds to thousands of dollars to get this character that turns out might not even be a good character because no one's really tried him out yet.
Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah. There was two things that I wanted to make sure that we cover today that I believe are very important. Maybe Steve's gonna have something to add to that, and that's the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and the gambler's fallacy. Now, fear of missing out is in basically every game that has a battle pass or has an online shop. This is something that more or less Fortnite made super mainstream, with the shop being rotated constantly. So if there's something that you want from there, you gotta grind it out, or you gotta pay for it so you can get it on the spot. And it puts pressure on you to keep playing the game even more, and it puts pressure on you to even spend money if you don't have time to play the game. And this is what I've noticed, like 1000% is in Champions and Supercard in those games, and I think is very toxic. Steve, TJ, you got something to add to this?
The first time I sort of encountered FOMO was on Steam when they would do like the Christmas and summer sales. They used to have timed exclusives, like something would go on sale for like 6 hours, and then that'd be it. So you were like constantly refreshing that just to make sure you didn't miss the game. And even if you didn't have it on your wish list or anything, if you saw it, you're like, never going to see that game, that price again, bang. And so they've moved away from that now, and I'm just curious as to whether that's sort of like a response to anything legal going on in the background, because a lot of this stuff now is because of the EU and their restrictions and their legislations about you have to tell people how much it is. But it's absolutely preying on that. It preys on fear of missing out by rotating things and keeping them, it's timed exclusive. It's here this week and then it's gone the next. People who are at least already spending and getting I'm building up a deck. I've got a big roster now. They're all like getting up in the stars. I'm doing well. Oh my God, there's this really rare card. I need it. It's my favorite wrestler as well. I need it. It's my favorite period of my favorite wrestler's career. I really, really need it. And it absolutely preys on that to like almost criminal degree.
Well, if you look at the bank records, Phil wheeled out humongously for an NWO Hulk Hogan.
Can you blame him? I mean, come on, guys.
I'm talking like I think it was at least 4 or 5K from last time I checked, just for
whoa! Hold on.
This is around his birthday.
5K for one character.
Because this was around his birthday too, so I think he got a lot of that, like the birthday money during that time.
Bow chicka bam bow. Classic.
The one thing, the other thing actually outside of the FOMO is the gambler's fallacy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is basically if you fail a couple of times, you get a bigger kind of you think that you're gonna make it the next time. You get more of a motivation to keep going. So the percentage of the likelihood of you making the pull correct next time is higher. And I framed this super terrible. So TJ,
that's like based. I get that from the psychological bit. It's sort of like based on the idea that what's impossible is not necessarily improbable. So it's not it's a 50-50 thing, basically. If you flip a coin, it's always going to be 50-50, heads or tails. But if you flip a coin 5 times, that sequence of heads is very improbable. Even though each time it's just as likely to come up tails as it was the first time, it's still equally as improbable. So it's the idea of that. There's also a bit of sunk cost bias there. I've already put in enough. I need to keep going so that I can get my returns back. There's also a bit of losses hurt more than gains, so a gain has to feel twice as good as a loss. So if I lose a tenner, I need to win 20 quid in order to feel good about it, because if I win the tenner back, I'm still at the same point, but I'm still feeling the burn of, oh well, I lost it before. I've got it back, but I lost it first, so I need another tenner. If I asked you to take a bet and I said how much, if I offered you a tenner, you'd probably want 20 to take the bet. It's losses hurt more than gains feel good. So there's a lot of it going on there. You have to really sink into it in order to be feeling all these things at once. Most people, when they feel one, if not more of these impulses, will think, right, too much now, and sort of temper their playing accordingly. Like there's a game called I Can't Believe It's Not Gambling, which is basically just a loot box simulator. It's on Steam. It's normally like one that I love it as well. That's the thing. I put in hours and hours of it because I know it's safe, but it's pushing the same impulses. And after a point, I was like over 10 hours of this is probably enough now.
When it's safe, it's not as fun though, and there's no risk.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun game on Steam that you pay one off, and then it's just a parody of it, basically. And there's also an EU compliant mode, which means you just can't play the game. He doesn't let you play the game.
That's amazing.
Brilliant. I got a question here from a member. I want to make sure we get to the members' questions. Thanks so much, members. You guys are all legends. Everyone's a legend. But how much time do you think Phil puts into the games? From member Tony here. How much time can you analyze that at all? TJ, do you know how much time he spends?
I'm going to be honest with you. He spends the least amount of time to get as much as he can get possible.
Ooh, okay.
From evaluating him, from being in his factions and stuff like that. He legit does the least amount possible to get what he needs. He'll get right to the requirement to get the character and then hard stop. Like his faction points, the last faction he did, he got like 8 million points in the faction, which sounds really good. But the fact that that was done over in an hour period means he only played the game for an hour. While I played for 4 hours and I got 50 million points.
Okay.
So based on that, you can see that he played enough to get the stuff that he can get for free. And then pays for the rest.
So let me get this straight. Even in the game that is ruining his life, he still does the bare minimum.
I posted these findings a long time ago, and when I was in his faction, which he of course booted me the second he became co-leader.
Get him out of here!
Like I would see his scores, and I'd be like, "This is trash." Like if it was in my faction, you would have been booted already, even with your team. Like because there is requirements in my faction to do XML, like to get to that 40 million. To help out the faction, because if everyone contributes, then we all get as much free stuff as possible, whether it be time and stuff like that.
So to expand on that question, does that mean Phil is playing significantly less, like each day, compared to Supercard? Because I remember old forum posts where Phil mentioned you have to grind like 6 to 8 hours, like a day, to get what you need out of the event. So, like, do you know or think that Champions is a second job for Phil, essentially?
He doesn't have to grind for it, does he? He could just buy his way to that.
Exactly. He buys his way into it. All he has to do is, like, stop. And he would probably gain only an hour a day in his time. That hour to go ahead and go to the gym or do whatever he needs to do, edit video, whatever. But as someone that's mentioned to me, my friend Purge mentioned to me, if you want him to stop playing this game, you might be like a degenerate too, because like then what would he be doing with his money? Like what like we're watching someone choose between his next meal and playing a game. And it is kind of funny. It's sad, but it's funny because you're watching someone go, this is my day off. What do I do my day off? I had no money. So I went and every time, and I don't know why, I deep belly laugh because I know the reason why. It's because he's playing WWE Champions. If he was throwing away his money for something else, what would he be throwing his money away now? We know what it is now.
Something similar, probably. Some other shit that is pointless and stupid. So.
See, that's why I think his addiction is money. It's spending money, because before Champions, it was always stuff like, be the statues, it'd be, Game of the Year edition stuff, it'd be collecting Blu-rays and DVDs and things. It would be buying physical stuff. Whereas now he still gets to spend it, and he still gets the feeling of collecting something and having something because he's got a roster. They're his cards. He's gotten them to that point. But, it's just easy now. He doesn't have to go out to the shop to buy games or anything. He can do it in his pajamas. He can do it on the toilet. All it takes is a couple of finger taps and, But a lot of people have sort of pointed out, is it like a chore to him now? And I think that's a sign that it has moved into serious addiction territory, because you're not doing it because you enjoy it anymore. You're doing it because you feel the need to. It's habit, or it's a routine, or it's a compulsion, but it's not something for enjoyment. It's like a second job,
That's the saddest thought right there. That just passed over me. Imagine that. He's not even having fun, and he's ruining his life with that money, and then taking that on to his fans, saying, "Up, 2 big bills coming up, guys. 2 huge bills coming this month. I got internet this week, I got internet next week, I got internet tomorrow, I got the internet bill on the weekend too. Don't forget about the weekend internet bill." And all that is because something he might not even have you having fun with. That's the sad thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, the abstract that Meerkat linked to me actually like brought that up, that it is a game's destiny to become boring instead of fun. And Phil is probably at that point for sure.
Damn.
So I guess the biggest question is, since he started, how much money do you estimate he has spent in total on this game in particular?
Ooh, the big ones.
Okay, so I had a few people ask me this question. I had Secret Limited and Declan Reed people ask me how much they thought that this was going to be. So I gave them a rough estimate of $100,000 at least, 100K, because I took the 40K that we knew of before the bank leaks of that the VIP.
Yep.
Because the only way you can get that to that point was to spend at least 40K. Then we took the 45K that we knew from the bank leaks from that point. And then I figured, well, if you take like a graph or anything like that, you find a difference now from the bank leaks to now to be about 15K. So it's going to be at least 100K minimum that he spent on this game.
That is terrifying.
I'd obviously like you've got
Big
a
bills.
margin of error there, because like you said, just because it says like you have a 1% chance of getting this doesn't mean 1 in 100 pulls will get this champion. It's, you know, there's going to be like a margin of error either way, where every now and then he gets one early and every now and then he has to spend more.
Yeah.
So that's like a minimum, and you've got a wide range.
I forgot to mention that. It was so 2 things. One, Scopely had a patent that was pending for an AI engine to determine that if you spend X amount of money, the pull rates will be actually worse after you spend more money.
Wow.
So it determined
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
that your account spent like 100K or whatever, you're not going to get that character more often because you've been spending a lot of money. But that person that just starts the game and puts in $20 probably will get that character. So any of you guys that just started the game, feel free to throw $20 and you might get Umaga. But,
that doesn't surprise me at all, actually, because there's a theory about FIFA where they say the opposite of that, where it's like if you're a newcomer, they'll kind of try and hook you in by getting, you know, if you get a free pack, or if you spend a bit of money on a pack and open one, you'll just happen to get a team of the week player, and then obviously then you're like, oh, okay, well that was easy. You know, carry on.
It was the thing where I think EA were in court over it. Sorry, just very quickly, TJ. EA were in court over it recently because I think it was Star Wars Battlefront 2, where they had a patent for matching people with players who were using stuff those people didn't have. So you got to see like higher level stuff. People were playing with like higher level costumes and things to tempt you more into buying it. So they were in court over that recently. So yeah, sorry.
Crazy, man.
Real quick, I want to make this 100,000, right? That was the minimum TJ just said. So why do you think Kat would be crying downstairs, guys? Is it because
I think she plays mobile games too. I think she spends in mobile games too. Because
that could be, yeah.
I remember a while ago that he was mentioning that she was playing some kind of Looney Tunes game, like a Bugs Bunny game.
That's
the only one I could find like that he was mentioning that kind of matched the description was another Scopely game.
It runs in the family.
Finally, a company that treats Phil with respect, the Scopely.
So another thing with Scopely, a while ago they had a class action lawsuit because they made a character absolutely broken in the Walking Dead game, and people wanted their money back for everything they spent because this one character broke the game so bad that they didn't want to go ahead and play the game anymore. So they wanted all their money back, and they said, "Well, no, you can't, because you got to play this game, and this is for new broken character." So that is how the data was revealed about the polls, about the percentages and everything like that. Where they tell people, "Well, you do have a shot at still pulling him," and they're like, and then in the lawsuit they proved yeah, you do, but it's such a minuscule amount. Of course, the lawsuit went nowhere because it's spending in a mobile game, and anything is temporary. and they can withdraw any of your payments whatsoever. Like they can go ahead and be like, okay, game's dead, bye, anytime. Like they did with the Star Trek game, I think a while ago. They like basically killed the game, despite people spending hundreds and thousands for a Star Trek game.
Crazy.
There is something to be said for that. I mean, I don't know about regulation, all that shit. Don't want to get too deep in the rabbit hole, but I mean, there is something to be said for that. I mean, if we as humans could endlessly prove we can't handle having these systems, and we spend $100,000 on it, some humans do, of course. And we showed that the history of Phil, right, is just a history of wasting money. There's never been a time in his life where he's not been wasting money. It started with he wants his parents to waste money on a Wolverine character. Then it goes to his own house, which is just filled with statues of games he doesn't even have a special feeling for. It's just like, well, let me think of a game here. Oh, Pokemon Blue statue. Yeah, I like that.
TF2. You had the heavy from TF2. It's like, don't even play it on PC.
I played that game once. That makes sense. Glasses. Special edition. I'll take that. It's just like he falls for all those kind of tricks, and we see the danger here is when you get to the hardcore tricked game like a gacha game that's pulling out all the stops here to get as much as they can. It fucking works. You know what I mean? It fucking works.
Yeah,
but
the weird sort of difference with Phil that I guess is, I mean, I don't know. This may happen more often than we think, but I think sorry to keep bringing FIFA up, but what we see is that people will spend a lot of money on FIFA points or EA points, whatever they're called, to pull, essentially just do pulls on a stream. I think that's what a lot of people tune into a FIFA stream for, is to see their favorite streamer just opening packs. But I've just said they're streaming. They're that is their thing. So they're
CS:GO. They do, don't they, with the skin?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
so it's kind of paying for itself, sort of thing.
And I'm gonna say one more thing about like WWE Champions before you want to go on more questions and everything.
Yeah.
Phil should be streaming this game because he can claim any of his polls as a business expense.
Yeah.
He can't. He cannot do that, guys. It's never going to happen. I mean, maybe when he's close to the end of the line, he might say like, you know what, fuck it, I'll go for it, like he always does, like the last ditch effort. But he cannot handle that hit to the ego. Never.
It's not just the ego. It's if he admits it, is basically admitting that he lied on his bankruptcy, because he had spent a bunch of money on that game. Then he put it on as some business expense, weird stuff. He justified it as microtransactions within a video game. That's what he said explicitly. That's exactly what he said. So if he admits to playing it, he's admitting that he committed bankruptcy fraud. So
I'll bet
good luck
that matters less to him than the thought that detractors would be right. If I came out and said I'm playing this,
of course,
that will be a more powerful motivator on his desire to lie about it than I might have committed bankruptcy fraud.
Yeah, and somebody already said he already did lie on his bankruptcy for the first time. Let's get it straight. I mean, he did lie a lot on that already. So
he lied a lot. Yeah.
But I guess we should think about running down here though. Meerkat, go ahead though.
Shout out to Timbo Slice for his third bankruptcy. That's a bankruptcy streak, everybody. A round of applause.
That's awesome job. Awesome work. The third one is the most special, I feel.
It's the best. Because you know the most, and it just it's the smoothest one. Because you know the process already.
You just go through the motions at that point.
Congratulations on his third money child.
Yes. $20,000 in payday loans, by the way. But still donated to Phil.
Speaking of a payday loans.
Guys, please stop us right now. Guys, if you want to see this be in Steve's ass for any length of time, the stream's winding down. We got to do it
I like
soon.
how we decided it's going to be Steve.
I'm the only one not playing champions. That's what it is.
We have to do it soon, guys, if you want to see
it. Been here one episode.
But we'll remember a question here, TJ, for you. Do you think Phil is even good at WWE Champions, or is he just pulling hard to breeze through the game? Is he any good?
No. If you ever watch certain streamers that also spend a lot of money on the game, I'll shout out one, Gerson Gaming. He's actually a really good friend of mine, even though we rat on each other, and he doesn't know how to play the game. But yet he has spent like hundreds of dollars on characters, and you'll get a character and be like, okay, cool, now I have him. Okay, what do I do with him now? Every time, or he'll go to his Shawn Michaels DX and immediately be like, okay, let me just press 2 buttons and I win and I know how to play the character. But he's a great guy and I like talking to him about stuff. And he was the first person to laugh at me. He was like, dude, why'd you level up Sid Star to Edge? I'm like, cuz stuff like that. But
Okay.
but the more you spend, I feel like the more you spend on the game, the less you know how to play the game.
Interesting.
There we go.
Let's see. What was your reaction when you saw how much he spent? Is that a funny thing for you, or is it more shocking? Or do you think like it's a normal thing for some players to do that you might have seen? Like, is there a lot of people whales like that in this game? Like, you might know more than us, obviously.
Phil's not even the best whale at the game. Like, that's the shocking part.
Top 100.
Yeah, if you look at the top 100, if you look at the top 100, there are people that'll triple his score, and you're like, so take like that 800 and times it by 3. Like, people are spending 2,400. They're probably like oil bandits who like don't have all the money in the world. So it's like, okay, let me just go ahead and just get this character and get out, and don't even realize that they're first place.
Oh wow, yeah, it must be.
Or they just enjoy, or they spend a lot of money, and they enjoy playing it as well, and aren't lazy. Like Phil, I would imagine is a part of it as well. They're actually playing well, if that's such a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions here? Go ahead. So good, Meerkat.
Yeah. What about the theory that some of the top whales are actually fake to motivate people to try and match them? So you can never have like real whales on top.
I have talked to most of the people that are whales because there was community discords with people in it. Of course, they got shut down once Phil entered it because people at the farms will be like, "Hey, by the way, do you know who this person is? No. Do you want to tell me everything about him? No. Okay, here's your docs." And they'll get shut down. But I've talked to a lot of them, and a lot of them are in fact real. None of them are people that are fake at all. So any of the people that you see that spend more than Phil, in fact, did spend more than Phil.
Last member question here. Is Phil close to, I think we kind of covered on this, but want to answer the question anyway. Is close to maxing out WWE, right? That could be the scariest thing for Phil because then he won't get the dopamine rush that he needs, clearly. But it sounds like you said us before, there is no end to this. They'll endlessly create new ways for you to spend your money, right?
He's 17 characters off and 2 of them don't exist anymore. Because they're not signed with WWE anymore, or for example, like Brody Lee passed away, so they don't have the access to him anymore. But he was in the game at one point when he was part of the Bludgeon Brothers and part of Wyatt family. So like his character was up there for a few months and then gone.
Just that would be enough to put me off playing it because I'd be like, oh fuck it, I can't complete the deck or whatever. Yeah. Like my OCD would just be going mental.
Yeah. Or Arn Anderson's in the game, but you can't. But because he's in AEW, you can't get Arn Anderson anymore. Or
surely Chris Jericho would be in it, then
there's like 4 Chris Jerichos in the game and like 5 Stings, but you can't get those anymore. And the big one was that people are still mad about is that they made an exclusive Booker T Hall of Fame, and you can only get him that month, and that's it. There has been no other way to get him, and I don't think Phil has him. So that's it. Like legit, they said there's no other way you can get him. There's like events where like if you're top 3, you can pick one character and get him at 2-star bonds. And I'll say at the bottom, cannot pick Booker T.
That's the FOMO again. That's like you have to play within that month and spend as much as you can to get it. Otherwise, that's it. You're done forever. So people who are like invested to the point where they are building up a roster and starting to think, yeah, this is my roster, and I've sunk some money into it. I'm quite proud of it. You're going to want that, and you're going to be compelled to just spend and spend and spend during that month. So,
it's one of those things where like in this world we're using these kind of terms like they're normal, but they're so not normal if you break out of the world, right? Like think about that transaction style, right? I want to buy this thing, so instead of just being able to buy it, I got to give you money until you decide, luck decides to give it to me. Like it's not a normal thing. Just like Phil's world of like, I don't like super chats as much as I like tips is very strange, but Phil kind of makes it normal. It's like, it's weird, kind of like parallels of that. For me at least, but I do think we should think about wrapping it up here. How awesome this has been, though. What a fun chat it's been. It's flew by. Meerkat, am I missing any good questions here, though? I don't think so.
I think that's it, man. We should close down shop. I'm sorry for the questions that we missed. but there's quite a few of them, and we are constrained, even though we started earlier.
Yep, I do want to do a final slow day tracker here. This month is finished. September is now finished. And as you can see here, there was 13 basketballs on there. That means there was 13 slow days and 12 not slow days. So we had more slow days than not slow days for September, my friends. This will go in the museum here in the history of DSP. And I'll start
right
October.
Next to an unused payday, man.
Yeah. Also next to my favorite fan art I've ever received. Yes, it'll go back there.
Auction off for charity.
Also, I think we should learn something from the mobile games. And next month, the payday is gone. It's going to be a Snickers. So if you want to see the payday up somebody's ass, this is the month, man. Next month is gone. It's going to be a Snickers. It's going to hurt Steve way more.
Yeah,
from all the nuts and stuff. God damn, this is disgusting. We need to make it something else, you guys. We can't keip going with this.
Let's make it a Whisper. It's nice and smooth.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least it's not a lion bar. Oof.
Oh my God.
How about Three Musketeers for the? It could be two meetings there. All right, but we got to thank our lovely, amazing guests we had today that shared so much stuff. I'll first go to TJ Gamebox. I'll put your link in the chat for your Twitter. Is there anything else you want to shout out? By the way, I always shout out your Twitter, but is there anything else I should be shouting out?
I have a Twitch that I stream at once every year now. That it's the same twitch.tv/TJ Gamebox. Just all that fun stuff. Shout out to the Giggle Gang. Shout out to Based Oslo. Watch his videos. It does great boomer shooter videos, all that fun stuff. And yeah.
Awesome. Secondary shout out is going to Tractor Goose. Legendary appearance today. You make legendary stuff. We just hope you keep it going, right? We hope you keep making content. Is that your plan right now? Can you let us know any future plans you have? What are you thinking about?
Most of my art and projects are very sporadic, so I can't guarantee a schedule for like Phil videos.
Mm-hmm.
But Phil has definitely offered a lot of potential mind map material, so I guess my channel is going to become a one-trick pony. So that kind of sucks. I've got
fine.
The next one, when I feel like working on it, is going to be the pleb versus authentic restaurants rant. That one was bizarre. And then I'm on the fence about the 1 Minute Man conspiracy, because half of that pre-stream I was tuning out hard. It was just same talking points. We've been here, nothing worth noting. But then as soon as he brought up the history of 1 Minute Man, he just like hit the nos, and I had no idea what was going on anymore.
That's a good way to put it. He definitely just started just saying stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Other than that, I do have a Twitch that is pronounced Caribbean, but it's spelt really stupid and weird. So just go to my like channels tab or whatever that is, where I've linked my other channels. You'll be able to find it that way. I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been doing my best to guarantee that, and then whatever the heck other bonus streams I want to do, like yesterday on YouTube, and today. I'm giving you guys so much content.
There you go. Good stuff for that. And Steve, as announced, is now officially a member of That Being Said. What do you have? I know your video, you just put out a video not too long ago, so I'm not expecting one soon, but anything in the works we can know about?
No, like I said last time, it's just going to be the wrap up of the champion stuff, then the Evil AJ stuff, and then I've got quite a smorgasbord in front of me to choose from. So, yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward to being the Respect the Pack to your Project 7.
That works. Meerkat.
Actually, Sam does better editing than me, so he.
Yeah. Meerkat, anything going on for you want to shout out? Yourself?
Shout out everybody who stopped by. Thank you for the guests. We learned a lot. Mainly, keep making polls and keep shitting on other people, even if you're hypocritical. Keep dropping stacks and put the house on the line, put the car on the line, everything for those Hogans. Thanks, everybody. Check in next time, clock in. We're going to be here, and we're going to talk to somebody who we don't even know who it is at this point. So we'll decide. We'll let you know. Anyways, thank you so much. And that's it for me clocking out.
Yep. Sam, final words.
I just wanted to do one quick shout out. Sly from Low Life TV has set up a new YouTube channel where I believe he's going to be doing more DSP stuff, gaming stuff possibly. So I'm just going to pop his link in the chat there. He's got 4 subs, so go and subscribe to that channel right now, and there'll be something out this week apparently. So just, he makes good stuff, so I think it's worth a shout out.
Awesome stuff. And the call-in show will be, I think, Wednesday this week. I'm not sure, though, but I'll let you know on Twitter, of course. And maybe Steve will be there. We got to talk to Steve about maybe coming in the call-in show one day. Maybe that'll be this week. Maybe not. No promises. Steve can be here. Maybe not. We don't know, but we'll see you then. Thanks so much, everybody. TJ Gamebox, Tractor Goose, legendary guest. Thanks so much, and thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Big ups.
Bill, I have to pay my taxes, pay my back taxes. I have to pay my mortgage, pay my internet bill. I have to pay Ben bills. I have to pay Ben bills, bitch. Pay Ben taxes. I have to pay Ben bills, bitch. Day to day, tips to tips, to pay bills and things. Eventually things will get better, but I'm kind of stuck right now with how things are. That's why I'm trying to make money. I have to pay Ben bills, I have to pay Ben bills. I have to pay Ben bills. I have to pay Ben taxes. Bills. I have to pay Ben bills. I have to. If you want to sit here and you want to pretend like you're holier than thou, I'm better than those content creators, man. Because I have a job where I work 9 to 5 and I bust my ass at my job and I earn a paycheck, man. And then I come home. See, I'm not on the internet begging for money all day, man. See, I'm better than them, man. No, you're not any better. Everyone's the same. No one's better than anybody else. Get your ass out there and fucking work, bitch.